The upgrade came at just the right time. So, without hesitation, I was ready to activate the 3 million beast slaughter formation. But the next second, the men's camp was dumbfounded. Damn, at the crucial moment we ran out of stones. Turns out it was still too rushed. Kill formation warriors with boosted formations. Each formation consumes 60 primal stones, and can be infinitely stacked. The next upgrade can raise the formation to 50 million. The man who witnessed this scene grinned, roaring with grandeur, only hearing the system beep. Formation failure. Level can reach 5,000. Activate the formation beast. Overlaying a 3 million undead enhancement array, covering an area of 300 kilometers, pulling nails and drawing blood, advancing without hesitation. The innocence of Yan and Huang. Overlaying 1.5 million inner strike formations, stretching for 30 kilometers, banishing the Earth Ape, accelerate the birth of heaven and earth forces. The immortal bone reigns. At the same time, the tide is rapidly receding, overlaying 1.5 million fierce subformations, stretching for 30 kilometers, overlaying 1.5 million frost freeze formations, stretching for 30 kilometers. Next, I press my hand to the ground, activating a formation of 1.5 million sword energies. It stretches for 50 kilometers. Suddenly, a red barrier formed by sword energy completely blocks the escape route of the clan, and it's terrifying like this. The undead charging beasts flowed into the circle in the middle. It's 1 kilometer wide. After a 30-kilometer journey, it's time to set up the formation. But I didn't expect it to be this powerful. At this moment, the other proud ones also understood. It turns out the benefactor's forbidden spell isn't limited to wood elements. Seeing the overwhelming momentum of the male camp, they couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. As everyone looked on in disbelief, the spinning monster was slain on the spot by the man. Oh my God, is it really dead? What is he, after all? We knew he was strong, but blocking the spinning creature's path completely. Meanwhile, the man swung his long sword. He even smiled slightly while dominating the air. Then, straight away, he unleashed a surer strike. Hell on earth for the people. But the man wasn't going to give him a chance. His gaze instantly turned cold and sinister. The powerful spell filled his wide-open eyes. As soon as he finished speaking, several massive spikes burst out of the ground. The whirlwind instantly enveloped the rotating monster. Following that, the man delivered another cleaving strike. He directly split the rotating monster in half on the spot. Seeing this, the rotating monster immediately began to heal its wounds. Sensing danger, he attempted to flee from the man's sight. With another spell, the lightning element was amplified by 50 times, generating a storm. Suddenly, the lightning in hand crackled, and the power of Ashura transformed into a giant of red. It shot towards the rotating monster with a piercing strike. The anxious man shouted urgently, "Child Earth, be careful," just as the words left his mouth. The spinning of the spherical monster formed a violent whirlwind, yet the man slowly extended 2 fingers. With a spell, the wind element was amplified by 50 times, creating a tornado. Its weak points are much easier to find, although the ultimate tie is powerful. The core energy is concentrated in the center of the sphere. At this moment, the spherical monster began to spin wildly, but the man remained completely still. The Blade Titan quickly transformed into a spherical monster. Not only did dozens of eyes grow on its head, but there were also 12 forged blades around it. However, the man named Yin looked on disdainfully. Finally, willing to offer up the ultimate tie, the Blade Titan should have more power than that. Suddenly, the Blade Titan's severed arm started moving. Its shattered body began to pull itself together. Yin knew all along it would transform next, so he had been waiting nearby. The massive body instantly fell down. Everyone in the arena looked on in disbelief. The 5 of them couldn't kill the Blade Titan together. but Yin easily took care of it on his own, even though Yin is very strong. Then came another Shura demon slash. After unleashing these 3 skills, he instantly activated the strongest level 1 Shura Hell plan. In an instant, he severed the arm of the blade giant. With a loud boom, the shot struck the giant's head. He grinned. Then, right on the spot, he activated his Shura killing strike, tightly restraining the giant's blade-wielding right arm, immediately followed by a Shura dragon kill. At this moment, the blade edge, the giant suddenly spoke, declaring without mercy that all exceptional talents must be killed. With that, he swung his blade towards the men's camp, but the man swiftly dodged to the side. Taking the opportunity, he fired a powerful shot. Lan Ziying then ordered all soldiers in the air. Tianzhao, make sure to take time to rest and heal. This wave of clan will be handled by us. Wen Yan and Chu Xinghe signaled everyone to retreat first. I believe he can do it. At this moment, the blade giant on the field was surrounded. Then he heard Emperor Wu of Han shout loudly, "The Hanlin army attacks the enemy." King Qin's soul was equally unwilling to show weakness. All the Qinling army obeyed orders. Give it your all and kill. We mustn't have fewer than the Han army. But in the next second, the awakening on the field completely refreshed his perception. First, millions of strange beasts charged over. Then, the countless undead army of the Great Han also arrived on the scene. Wang was instantly dumbfounded. It was only then that he realized, could he be a rare dual-element ability user? But Su Chang'e just smiled slightly. Now it seems, this guy is more than just dual-element. Hearing this, Wang Zai was even more shocked. What do you mean by that? Seeing the man's momentum, Wang was in shock. Could he be the mysterious cultivator from the rumors? But something seems off. He clearly just used a power incantation, and he openly activated the Ashura Hell platform. With just his own strength, the man easily took down the alien fortress that the 5 great prodigies couldn't even scratch. Everyone on the scene was dumbfounded. This is terrifyingly impressive. Just now, old friend, giant, it's been a long time. The man finally revealed his strength to the public. Tens of millions of undead soldiers appeared. The billion-kill formation is fully unleashed. Immediately, he unleashed Shura Muay Thai. Everyone in the arena was shocked. They had never witnessed such a powerful presence. With just one strike, he shattered the giant sword in the hands of the giant clan. The man in the arena smiled and said, "The clan has a bloodline blade. Could it be that the 7th defense line is about to fall so soon?" Meanwhile, the man Yin is also ready. It's time to show the world his strength. Suddenly, in his eyes, a streak of red killing intent emanated. You will know who he is. Meanwhile, the internal military command center reports to the commander. All satellite signals from the 7th defense line are completely interrupted. Wen Yan, the officer, immediately signaled to quickly investigate the tornado caused by the giant clan earlier. The prodigies are likely in grave danger this time. Then shut down all micro-communication devices. Commander Wang is puzzled about who it is. Why they asked to shut down satellite communications. Chu Xinghe said to Commander Wang that when he sits down, as he mentioned, this is the benefactor. He came, and only Su Chang scoffed, "You finally made it." But this entrance is truly pretentious. The man directly tossed Chu Tian out. "Xinghe, take care of your sister." Gently, slowly. Nanshan Xiong, witnessing this, couldn't believe his eyes. But he immediately realized from the voice that it was mine. Indeed, it was me. The expressions of the people on the scene varied, but at this critical moment, a giant green vine wrapped around the helicopter. It turns out the man had activated the heavy element. He was holding the unconscious Chu in one arm, while forcibly pulling the helicopter back with the other. "We can't let him sacrifice in vain. Son, the upcoming war depends on your generation. Your father will go ahead first. It's just a pity that I haven't been able to hold my grandchild yet." He was about to press the detonator in his hand. "Today, you'll know what human precision retaliation is." At this moment, Su Chang shouted in despair, "No!" Wang Zai also realized Nanshan Xiong's intentions. "Everyone, don't just stand there. Use all your strength to control the foreigners. Old Zhang from Wenyan has made up his mind to die. We're counting on you, Lao Nan." Then the two veteran soldiers started working. That's how this scene came to be. "That big guy from the alien race," Ru Mountain Bear firmly expressed. "Now is the time for a last resort. We will not die in vain. But if the elite squad gets wiped out, it's all over." And he remembered the mini-nuclear bomb in the armory. Old Zhang, who heard this, looked shocked. "Old Nan, no, that is a last resort. It should only be used when we go down with the enemy." "This isn't good," that's Senior Nanshan Xiong's voice. "I promised Nan Ziying that I'd take care of the old master. It turns out, 3 minutes ago, Nanshan Xiong and old Zhang had a discussion, and they decided that old Zhang would watch the cannon and provide support." A whirlwind formed from the blade erupted on the field. At this moment, the miniature nuclear missile helicopter piloted by Nanshan Bear also arrived. "Everyone, move away a bit. I'll handle the explosion." Winyan Su Changa thought to himself, "Wang is calling out in the dark. Not good, everyone. Increase the output. Don't give the foreign race any chances." Who would have thought that the giant foreign creature just casually swung its sword and immediately sent all the heroes flying, immediately plunging their large sword into the ground. A towering earthen wall, nearly 100 meters high, was formed instantly, blocking the fierce attack from the human tribe. Qin Ying shouted, "Qin Kuisi, be careful." Next, a Qilin fire surged towards the giant clown. Suddenly, there was a loud explosion on the field. Seeing this scene, Wang coldly snorted, thinking that no matter how strong this big guy was, he could not escape our combined attack of 5. Little did he know, the giant tribe suddenly roared. "At least they can hold everyone for 30 seconds. The strong Chu Xinghe immediately unleashed his domain skill. With the sound of a sword being drawn, countless blue energy swords burst forth. The Qin siblings, He Jinting and Sha Rong, also joined the fray, surrounding and attacking together. Then Su Changa shouted, "Undead of the foreign tribes, heed my command." With that, the puppet strings in his hands shot out, controlling the enemy on the spot. The clan rushed in recklessly. "This way." Just now, Su Chang signaled Senior Emperor Shi to lead the undead army to block the attack of the other tribes. "We, the prodigies, will handle this big guy." The Qin Wraith immediately expressed exhaustion. "You all follow me." He intended to perish together with the alien race. "Father, I will go ahead." But just at this critical moment, Nan Zining made a domineering entrance from the skies. "My friend, we meet again at last." Just a single strike caused heavy casualties among the human troops. Even the prodigies of the 5 great ancient clans stood no chance. And Del's 50-year-old warrior, Brother Nanshan, was also prepared to die. "For my brother, I must hold on. Those who strike have struck." The Silver Man will finally take action at the 7th line of defense. It's because the AG clan's blade giants are too powerful this time. At the same time, looking at the men's camp, there were still 200 kilometers to the 7th defense line. The man in the camp looked worriedly at Chu Tian, asking if he could hold on. Hearing this, Chu Tian showed a resolute expression, saying there were just 200 kilometers left for the human race. "Eliminate those lowly tribes for me. All the heroes, heed my command. First, follow me." Immediately, the entire human army mobilized. The giant alien, witnessing this scene, was taken aback. "Will accompany me to face this tribe." Commander Wang realized he couldn't rally them this way, so he immediately ordered the Psychic Legion to defend against the other tribes with all their might. All infantry stepped forward. "The fallen souls of my great Qin have fought countless battles, wrapped in horsehide. Now, I, the ruler, have been reborn. How could I fear a small tribe like yours?" The spirits of the Qin warriors. But the giant alien immediately discovered the intention of King Qin's soul. It immediately thrust a bone spike forward, King Qin's soul silently cursed. He realized our intention. Then I could only fight hard. Bai Qi, go assist Senior Qin Shi Huang. Witnessing this, the soul of the Qin King surged with battle fury. All soldiers of Great Qin, join me in crushing this foreign enemy. As soon as he finished speaking, the undead of Great Qin charged forward without hesitation. Seeing this, King Qin's soul immediately ordered Bai Qi, quickly protect Su Changji. Su Changji staggered back several steps. I'm fine for now. This monster is no ordinary foe. Left a deep fissure on the ground, thousands of feet deep. With the addition of the giant alien race, the tide of battle instantly turned. Tianzhao also used his skills to control the alien corpses and attempted to fend off the giant aliens' attacks. The sight is ominous. The prodigies immediately avoid its edge. What the hell is this thing? It's as tall as the city wall. Just a casual strike. What is that thing? A never-before-seen foreign species, with a head and 2 legs, its body wrapped in 2 massive chains, holding a giant long blade. Fire, but just as the battle with the aliens was raging on, a giant figure suddenly appeared at the front of the battlefield. As it walked, the entire ground shook with every step. Seeing this, King and the commander were instantly shocked. Meanwhile, Tianjia has also slain several enemies in succession. At this moment, the battle has reached its peak. Direction 8 o'clock, 2,978 meters. Fire to stop the advancing aliens ahead. Fire! Aliens on the left are trying to flank the second squad. It's obvious that the attack from the enemy has slowed down significantly. Commander Wang is constantly directing the battle. Direction 4 o'clock, 3,375 meters. Fire now. The shells roared as they whistled towards the enemy's ranks. Soldiers of Great Qin, crush these foreign invaders into the depths of hell for me. Strangle them, kill them. Aloe vines, kill them. As all the chosen ones enter the battlefield, the alien corpses were all moved by me. Go bite your own comrades. In the face of the crisis of Great Qin, how dare we allow a tribe to defile us? Then, several huge blue energy swords appeared out of nowhere in the sky. They hovered above the heads of the alien monsters. As Chu Jinghe shouted, thousands of arrows pierced the heart. Numerous energy swords shot explosively toward the heads of the various races. Other ancient clan prodigies also joined the battlefield. Follow me to fight them. Chu Jinghe directly unleashed the domain sword energy. A blue energy gathered in his hand. Then there was a loud bang. Suddenly, a violent explosion shook the entire estate. Old Zhang glanced back and said, "You were right." At the same time, the attacks from the myriad races have arrived. Everyone prepare for battle. Marching souls. They are still so young. And those children who died on the battlefield, their mothers comfort him nearby. So we need to lift our spirits even more. We must do our utmost to protect them, even if it means dying for them at a critical moment. I'm not afraid of dying. I just feel hopeless. Even if Tianzhao is strong, after all, is it not the passion for battle? It can also wear one out and lead to death. We finally won a battle. Even if we die in battle, we can't give up. Besides, we're all old warriors. What is there to fear? Old Zhang hangs his head in despair. Old Zhang, don't say such discouraging things. Look at the heroes down there. Last time we were in dire straits. It was those heroes who saved me along with our people. And they even brought a massive army of undead. Brother Nan, we've run out of nuclear bombs. We barely have any shells left. If we keep fighting like this, do you really think it still has any meaning? But Nan Fu's eyes are unusually determined. Tianzhao is responsible for the assault. The mutant legion will follow up with infantry. Artillery will provide cover, even if it means death. We must hold the line. At the same time, at the 7th defense line, the void gate was wide open, and a large number of aliens were about to arrive. The warriors were also ready to defend against the myriad races. Commander Wang is leading the charge. The elite martial souls also emerged in full force. But even so, this time we are facing a giant alien race that has never appeared before. Soon, the human side fell into a passive position. Meanwhile, the reinforcements from the male camp were still 200 kilometers away. The life and death battle for the 7th Defense Line has finally begun. Even as the Supreme Commander of the United Armies, he fought on the front line against the myriad races. The veterans were ready to sacrifice for their country. The soul of King Qin even boasted, "What if I die again?" Seeing this, the angered man in the camp couldn't help but get enraged. Even though Chu Tian was already severely exhausted, he still fought on for the future of all humanity. Still resolutely slammed his little hand on the ground. "I can do it. This place is 1,000 kilometers away from the 7th defensive line. If you can't hold on, don't push yourself." But at that moment, Chu Tian's body wobbled slightly. Then, forcing himself, he got back up. He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of black blood. The man next to him, Yin, looked very worried. But in the next moment, Chu Tian fainted. Seeing this, the man, Yin, hurriedly stepped forward to support him. Even the lollipops he loved to eat were crushed. But even so, he is still gritting his teeth and holding on, due to the forced collective teleportation. This also caused Chu Tian to exhaust himself too much. "Quickly gather Chu Tian. Find a way to transport me and the million longevity ceremonies to the front line." Hearing this, Chu Tian also threw caution to the wind. He let out a low roar. Suddenly, a surge of black energy erupted from him. As soon as he finished speaking, tens of millions of Han souls appeared out of thin air. The sound of rustling shouts echoed throughout the heavens and the earth. Following that were the furious roars of the wild beasts. 3 million longevity ceremonies. The front lines, it's likely to be a brutal battle. We must hurry to reinforce them. Immediately, he raised his hand to the ground below. 20 million souls of the Han dynasty, heed my command. Quickly, go support the 7th defensive line. Damn, this is the 7th defense line. The direction of the battlefield, the void gate of the alien race, has opened. This is 2 years earlier than in my previous life. My father, my sister, Chu Qinghe, they're all there. With the void gate wide open, a large number of aliens will probably attack the 7th defense line soon. These projects are somewhat similar to what we're doing now. It seems the higher-ups really appreciate our plan. Suddenly, a shout came from the nearby crowd. "Look, what is that red vortex on the horizon?" Upon hearing this, the man immediately looked up at the sky. "Worthy of a great nation's style. Congratulations. You bet right this time. Since you all believe in it, I won't let everyone down." At this moment, General Lan, guarded by the bearded men, burst into laughter. "These 5 major projects are truly insane. Human resources are so tight right now, and we still have to do these." But the corner of the man's mouth is slightly lifted. At the moment of decision. Once this news breaks, it will cause a nationwide sensation. Artificial volcano canal project. Steel jungle, mountain of raw stone. What is this supposed to do? The 5 great prodigies can eliminate thousands of assassins from the 10 billion clans in less than an hour. It seems that no one in the world can achieve this. Same lineage, same clan. Our blood is one. Damn it, I Shu Yang, am all in on this bet. It is precisely because we are continuously retreating ahead that we should dare to take a bold look. I have a feeling this will be the most brilliant decision in the East. We, the ancient clan, unanimously agree. They want to leverage the power of heaven and earth to take control of the situation. The 5 legendary talents are unable to make a choice. It must be due to their considerations for the overall situation. Brother Zhug, Li Soing, what you said is true. All the other prodigies will definitely be present. Otherwise, after the formation amplifies as servants, they wouldn't inform us of the retained information. From their demands, it appears that the volcanic canal steel should be what the formation or everyone needs. Rumors, we want to bet the entire nation's power and resources. That's a bit too reckless. At this moment, Zhu Gejia and Zhu Chemming, standing to the side, coughed lightly. Let me tell you something. Even if this word refers to the Asura Sok, I personally think it's very risky. General Li Fei of the 3rd Defense Line also agrees. Setting aside Asura's strength for the moment, we still don't know who the 5 god-tier talents are, just based on a few. However, Commander Fang from the 2nd line of defense disagrees. It is well known that Asuras can be possessed at any time. To take his word for it, they are launching such a large-scale operation. The beginning of sky burning probably refers to massive reserves, the primal force capable of burning the sky. These knife marks in the writing are likely left by the Asura, endlessly stretching. The steel of Confucian forest means forging a jungle of steel, or perhaps planting vast areas of steel, mutant, giant trees. It will burn the heavens and bring catastrophe. Water reaching the skies is the man-made canal connecting to the East Sea, spanning the northwest. The legendary talents intend to set the final battlefield at the 5th Defense Line. Source of the volcano, which is a man-made volcano, mountain of origin, once ignited. What we are going to discuss today is the message they left for the military. I want to know what everyone thinks. The head of the Xuanyuan family, Xuanyuan Rulong, speaks first as, in my opinion, this should be a monumental battlefield layout. Could it be for protection purposes? After all, they might be the trump card that could turn the tide of the entire battle. Military Conference Hall of the 5th Defensive Line. This is the information left for us by the legendary talents. The talents who can support the 7th Defense Line have already set out. Therefore, survival wasn't at stake. Why are there suddenly so many prodigies from inland supporting the 7th Defensive Line? Could it be related to the emergence of the 5 god-level prodigies last night? But why hasn't the government reported it? All 5 prodigies are from Xinjiang. Being from north is undoubtedly the best cover. Right after that, official reports came in. Tianzhou Zhuge Yuan led a group of people to support the 7th Defense Line. Tianzhou Shuiyu Wanhong led a group of people to support the 7th Defense Line. Only Tianzhou Lan Changkong was tasked with defending against the sea beasts from the East Sea. This accelerated the rapid collapse of the human camp. Chutian, let's go back to the slaughterhouse. Now, my identity as a deserter from North is widely known. Humans or other races won't easily suspect me. If I want to plan secretly, in extreme warfare, there are not a few who align with foreign tribes. Now exposed, I fear the Long Dam will be destroyed by ants. In the later stages of the last war, there were also many human traitors. This is the only option. Although most of the inland assassins have been cleared out by now, if they find out the 5 prodigies are gathered together, their counterattack will be more than 10 times fiercer than before. Moreover, there are too many people with ulterior motives. Chu Chuyang quickly announced, informing the military general and the Du clan leader to head to the 5th Defense Line for a meeting immediately. At this moment, the men's camp can only watch silently from afar. Sorry, everyone. It's still not the time for me to show up. But if we want the military's help, but the elder said they left us a message. Everyone, come take a look. The message left by the Celestial is carved on the stone. Upon hearing this, everyone immediately looked at the stone tablet. After reading the message, you've already seen the 5 mysterious prodigies. Where are they now? The prodigies said they didn't know either. We just encountered a masked formation on the way. After enhancing us, the Celestial disappeared. Shu Shuyang then realized that the bodies buried under the boulder were all from an assassin clan. The prodigy behind him explained to Shu Chuang that it was a forbidden curse used by the prodigies to annihilate the clan and bury all of them underground. Shu Chuyang quickly asked, "So, the investigation confirms it's here, but I don't know either." Before the words were finished, the ground shook violently. It wasn't until then. Let's go to the northern wilderness Gobi to check the message. At the same time, Military aircraft have also arrived on the scene, but they haven't found any sign of Tianjiao or the alien assassins. Report, sir. If you wish to repay me, just do as I say. If that's the case, the Elder should enhance our presence. At this time, I still don't want to reveal my identity. We should naturally follow the Elder's instructions. Senor, please wait. May I ask your esteemed name? In the future, our Juge family will repay you with gratitude. Upon hearing this, the Nancy camp turned around and said, I have left a message for you and the military in the northern wilderness Gobi, even if it meant death. We must also send the Xiaojia army to the battlefield, because his dearest brother is on the battlefield. Just now, after receiving a tenfold boost from the Nancy camp, clearly she was just a little girl who hadn't even been weaned. Yet now, for the future of the entire human race, she forcefully sent 3 million years of life essence to the front lines for support. Even though she vomited blood and lost consciousness, she still resolutely forced her body to hold on. All the prodigies present were engulfed by this red light. They heard the man chant loudly, tenfold array. It turned out the man had set up a tenfold amplification array for them. As the formation was completed, the prodigies couldn't help but clutch their heads and howl in pain. To think the Earth Jade technique could be brought to such a level. But in the next second, Zhuge Yuan, the prodigy, suddenly felt a surge in his mind. A blinding red light shot towards him. It wasn't just him. The light was blinding. The explosion at the center echoed across the sky. A terrifying wave of energy swept across 100 miles. Witnessing this, the prodigy Zhuge Yuan cried out in shock. Who exactly is this true god? Because for now, the men's camp doesn't want to reveal their identities. After speaking, he gathered energy into his left hand. The powerful curse sent Earth flying as it suddenly activated. One after another, red energy rings rapidly spread outward. The man let out a roar, 500-layer burial, facing numerous assassins of different races. Lan Ziying immediately unleashed a 50x forbidden thunder spell. The prodigies should be arriving at the military soon. They won't be far off. This battle must end quickly. But next time during teleportation, can you be a bit more careful? It turns out that Chu Tian had teleported Yin right into the assassin's trap. Yin sighed lightly. I guess I'll have to get used to this in the future. It will be fine. Seeing this, the Steel Horn Bull and Iron Wolf immediately charged in. The venomous ape man could only let out a helpless roar. Chu Tian, standing nearby, laughed and said, "What a pitiful giant troll." The man, Yin, looked embarrassed. Chu Tian, you did pretty well just now. Immediately, several wind blades fiercely slashed toward the venomous ape. Then, the attack stacked up to 50 times. A dragon-like tornado swept the venomous ape into the air. The man named Yin swung his fist downward. The venomous ape was slammed violently into the ground. The toxic ape also looked confused. Could it be that this human has taken a liking to me? But then the man suddenly let out a roar. The forbidden wind element spell was unleashed. He slammed his large hand hard onto the ground, nodded. After everything was arranged, the man suddenly launched an attack on the toxic ape. But upon seeing the toxic ape, the man was taken aback. Then, let Chu Tian come and assist him. If any stragglers escape from the formation later, you must quickly tell me this. The man paused for a moment, while Chu Tian understood the 4 virtues well. Immediately, centered around the men's camp, a turbulent red energy surged into the sky. The ground shook violently. Chaos flew everywhere. Terrifying energy waves scattered all around. They specialize in venomous apes and rotting giants. After speaking, he scanned the battlefield. Various formations must be applied again. After saying this, a terrifying red Shura energy emanated from him. He then raised his large hand towards the ground. He'll stay in the middle to draw their fire. You all head to the outer battlefield. Surround the aliens and encircle them. Chao, focus on the Iron Slayers and Troll Assassins, because the undead are not toxic. The others have no way to counter the lizardmen at all. It's the same on the undead side. If this keeps going, we'll have a good fight. But there will always be some unnecessary losses. So I quickly ordered Xiao Chao and the undead. Xiao Chao, undead, hear my command. In an instant, the assassin was cleaved in two. Meanwhile, the man named Yin stood tall above the battlefield. Although Xiao Chao and the undead have significantly increased their power, the current situation shows that, aside from the Beast King in Xiao Chao, meanwhile, the giant elephant wasn't idle. The giant ape devoured each one with a loud crunch. Now look at the battle spirit of Emperor Wu of Han. With the assistance of the white warhorse, it sliced the assassin in half as easily as cutting vegetables. He immediately sliced the assassin from that clan in half. The assassin was instantly cut down, howling in pain. The two iron wolves showed no mercy either. One bit into the assassin's neck, the other into his chest. The assassin could only let out a roar of frustration. This was simply because he didn't want to reveal his identity yet. Just now, the man in the hell-like state of Asura effortlessly executed an Asura burial kill, then landed in a perfect posture. Immediately after, he made a violent flying slash to ensure the safe birth of the 5 ancient clans' prodigies. He didn't hesitate to single-handedly face the entire alien assassin force. But after he slaughtered all the alien assassins, and granted a tenfold enhancement of power to the extraordinary, he chose to quietly leave alone. The man's gaze suddenly turned cold. So you 4 great assassins have finally come. Not just assassins, there are also 30 million Qin and Han ghost soldiers. The man stood proudly ahead. Now you can join me in a killing spree. The reason all the assassins acted this way was that the army of exotic beasts from the men's camp had already arrived. They were densely packed across the entire plain. The entire earth trembled. In the next second, they turned and fled into the distance. Wang Shuan was stunned at the sight. What the hell? They ran away. What is going on here? But what he didn't know was, but the imposing presence of the ancient clan filled him with no fear. Come at me, you damn scoundrels. Even if I die, I'll take you down with me. But at that moment, all the assassins suddenly halted. Then, it's just a matter of waiting for the foreign assassins to take this opportunity to eliminate the great threat to all prides. Just as the men anticipated. At this moment, the royal pride Emperor Xuan is under attack from foreign assassins. Am I really supposed to meet my end right after being born? I refuse to accept this. And the Shu family's pride across the void. At this time, the men's camp has completed all preparations. This commotion is bound to attract the foreign races. Surely, all 5 great prides will be dispatched. It will also collectively enhance the 5 ancient clans. I must hurry there. Perhaps this is a great opportunity for the Juge family. At the same time, the genius of the Xuanyuan family rides the wind. The royal genius steps on a sword, and the genius of the Yoga family swiftly flies. The sea suddenly stirred up monstrous waves, 1,000 meters high. Lan Changkong, the prodigy of the Lan family, stepped on the sea beast and made a grand entrance. Such powerful beast tamers. Lan Changkong must meet them. And look at the genius from the ancient inland Zhuge family, Zhuge Yuan. To think his elemental incantations could reach such perfection. Zhang Yuan from the Wanmei Material Center was also drenched in cold sweat from shock. The moment he saw the official announcement, the first thing that came to his mind was the man. Could it really be him? At the same time, in the Donghai Lan family, as the daylight illuminated the entire land. Do you still remember when we were attacked by a wolf pack in the northern wilderness? Chen Lianyi said. How could he ever forget about the artist taming 10,000 wolves? Could it be that this time it was him too? Now he is 1,000 times stronger than we imagined. But recently, there haven't been any at all. Based on this analysis, the situation is quite obvious now. Meanwhile, at the pharmaceutical factory, Chenjin. Take a look at this news. Wow, this situation in the northern wilderness desert is going to be serious. In just a moment, 5 god-level prodigies have gathered. Why have we never heard of this before? But it's not like there were no signs at all. In the past, E-City would occasionally suffer from beast-tide attacks. Meanwhile, on the southern campsite, 1 million steel giants, 500,000 Zhigang yaks, 1 million Bao Yuan, and 1 million Zhanxiang are all mobilized. The authorities have once again activated the heavy channel. The 4 major beast nests in the northwest are collectively heading to the northern wilderness desert. This time, the 5th god-level beast taming prodigy has appeared. Is this really the top hope of my dragon country? Even the inland military has been alerted. This commotion is simply too much. Meanwhile, the military personnel from the 1st defensive line in the inland center are quickly flying to the northern desert. But even at top speed, it will take over an hour. The inland military aircraft are on their way to investigate. The public need not panic. Holy crap, god-level prodigies. I've never heard of this level before. I guess this daylight must have been caused by one of those prodigies. What on earth is happening? Could it be a monster causing trouble? No way. Hurry up and check the news trending topics. At this moment, the official announcement comes in. The 4 mysterious, god-level prodigies have gathered in the northern Gobi. A sudden loud explosion rang out. In an instant, the entire world was illuminated as if it were daytime. The citizens in the city were startled. How come it just got bright after lying down? But it's only 10 p.m. now. We must report this urgently to the highest commander of the military. At the same time, the men's camp activated the light element again, increasing its power a full 100-fold. As they released spherical light orbs from their bodies, as the light sphere grew larger, we can only call it God level. As soon as these words were spoken, Zhao Kia felt a sudden shock in her heart. You mean to say that 3 divine level are gathered in the Beihuang Gobi? This is not a joke. Besides the legendary mysterious Asura and the mysterious formation master, could there also be a genius summoner of the undead appearing? Moreover, the energy this time is several times stronger than what was previously detected. It's far beyond the scope of our established level 10 rating. But if we have to give it a rating, Zhao Kia was almost overwhelmed. How is this possible? Su Leng anxiously inquired from the side. What's going on? It's an undead. I've never felt such a powerful undead aura. Suddenly, the necromancer summoned the spirit of the mighty warrior again. With the battle prowess of Emperor Wu of Han, unchallenged by anyone, the shouts of countless battle spirits echoed throughout the heavens and the earth. Emperor Wu of Han roared, "Whoever violates the territory of the Han shall be punished." As the spirit of the Han army emerged, "Oh my God, another powerful formation force is coming from the same direction. Could it be the mysterious formation master from the previous rankings? It would be even better to catch a glimpse of their prowess." Unfortunately, Zhao Ke's energy was completely exhausted today. At this moment, the man waved his large hand upwards. Frost freezes and stacks. 1,000,000 covers 1,000 miles. The formation is not. Suddenly, waves of intense energy surged outwards in all directions. Seeing this scene, Su Leng and Zhao Ke were dumbfounded. "Call me Bai Yuan. Seal my position." Elemental sword energy. Flames burn fiercely, grimly bestowed. The layout is left and right. Heavenly stems and earthly branches. With thunder as the camp, with frost as the movement. Day and night I am a poor minister. The aura of Ashura was countless times stronger than before. I'm afraid he has already fallen into a trance. We must immediately report his whereabouts to the military. His current location is next to the northern wilderness. At this moment, the man howled at the sky, saying the formations are arranged before and after. He immediately switched to max level. The hell stage, the fierce killing intent, made the earth tremble. All the birds and beasts were thrown into chaos. Meanwhile, the mysterious Asura from the Paranormal Investigation Bureau appeared again. In his eyes, at this moment, the man resembled a god of death. As the killing intent grew stronger, the entire world was overwhelmed by his imposing aura. It's time for the 5 great prodigies to emerge. Wait for my command. Proceed to the northern wasteland, to battle with the tribe that encroaches on our territory. The man exuded an incredibly powerful aura of killing intent. Chu Tian behind him was stunned. They can be reborn infinitely. They can only perish if killed continuously and times within 1 minute. Summoning a total of 40 million undead will allow for an upgrade. Remaining Yuan, 11. 30.5 million, 20 million Han soldiers. Those who challenge the strong will be punished, no matter how far. At this time, the undead summoning of the men's camp has reached level 3. It can summon 10 million Qin soldiers and 20 million Han soldiers. The undead are immortal and indestructible under non-extinction conditions. Because the great tide demands it, I humbly ask the great predecessors of the Han to awaken. Emperor Wu of Han, General Wei Qing, General Huo Kubing. Just now, he had Chu Tian teleport him to the nearby Han tombs. As the man emitted strange red energy, he slapped his large hand on the ground. This young man dares, and countless deadly formations have already been set. The most terrifying thing is his elemental process that burns everything in the world to ashes. Now everything is ready, just waiting for the assassination by the outsiders. It's time to reveal his identity to the world. And that's not all. He also commands an army of 1 million beasts at his disposal, a legion of millions of Qin and Han spirits, awaiting his command. Clearly, a battlefield deserter scorned by the world, has been enduring in silence for years, now returns with overwhelming dominance, single-handedly shaking the Dragon Nation. Dagi. Even the Dragon Nation's military was overwhelmed by his presence. Might as well cut off the problem at its root. Then, order Chu Tian to immediately teleport to the northern wasteland Gobi. Let the 5 prodigies emerge together. Attract all the assassins from the myriad clans. Watch how I, Man Yin, capture them all in one sweep. Yin also realized that this can't go on. If every prodigy keeps getting into trouble early, even rushing to save them non-stop won't guarantee their survival. It's like trying to stop boiling water by pouring in mutton broth. Damn it, what kind of world is this? The prodigies are assassinated right after birth. These people are the future of the Dragon Kingdom. They are already the strongest among humans today. But who can protect them? Was assassinated by the clan right after birth. The prodigy of the Lin family in the northwest was assassinated by the clan right after birth. The prodigy of the Shao family in the southwest was assassinated by the clan right after birth. Descendants of Yan and Huang, everlasting and resilient. Soon after, Long Kingdom issued an announcement. The ENGSUB family prodigy Su Chang'e and the Qin family's twin prodigies, Qin Yin and Xing Zui, led their clans to the 7th defensive line, the prodigy of the Ji family in the mainland. After that, he bowed to everyone. Then I must trouble everyone. The Qin siblings repeatedly expressed reluctance. In contrast, Su Chang'e gestured for them to rise. Seeing this, King Qin felt deeply gratified. I will reveal my true face when the time comes. All you need to do is follow these instructions. The Qin siblings promised they would not fail their benefactor's mission. Su Chang also said, now that's more like it. Then the man handed over the 10 million Qin army tiger tally to Su Chang. Help me buy a few days. But let me be clear. The battlefield of the 10,000 races is nothing like child's play assassination. If you truly are the elites of the ancient clan, then coolly return to the 5th Defense Fleet for me. The hero looks really cool. Seeing this, feelings were about to stir. But the Man Yin stopped them. Brother Chang was right. I need you to lead your family to the 7th defense line. You are honest with the summoned spirits, inviting us to protect our home together. Do you really see us as such a burden? Or do you have other ideas? Do you think that by secretly wearing a mask, you can act as a tyrant throughout the ages? Wouldn't that be moral coercion? Then he slowly uttered a few words. Also, have you all protected yourselves? But Su Chang'e, who was beside him, suddenly laughed. You really are an insincere person. It's understandable if you have your reasons for wearing a mask. Is it really that hard for you to share your true thoughts with us? Feel free to speak. Even if it means going through fire and water, I won't hesitate. The man thought for a moment, should I send them to the front lines? While I'm still laying out plans in the rear, sending them to fight on the front lines. In an instant, the 10x amplification formation was injected into Su Chang's body, following a wave of excruciating pain for Su Chang. The 10x amplification was successfully completed. Qin Ying immediately expressed her gratitude to her benefactor. Do you have any other instructions? Su Chang looked surprised. Amplification? What amplification? Why do you two siblings look so confused? Before he could finish speaking, Lan Ziying immediately pressed her hand on his forehead. Since that's the case, you'll go ahead and say it. Chui Yi, take me into your family for a group augmentation. Hearing the word augmentation, hearing this, Su Chang spread his hands and said, I should give you a grand salute, but I've never been one for such formalities. So today, I owe you a favor. Just tell me how you want me to repay you. Lan Ziying's eyes narrowed. Finally, a different prodigy. Not every genius has the intelligence of Chu Jing. At this moment, a voice suddenly came from behind. Young friend, you really fit my temperament. We could definitely become friends despite the age gap. At this point, Su Chang asked, Brother Emperor, is this masked person the one you mentioned? Qin Wanghun replied, That's right. Upon hearing this, the two were dumbfounded on the spot. We still don't know the benefactor's name. The man in silver said, No need. As expected, he had overthought it. Are all the 5 clans this intense? From now on, my siblings' lives are yours. If you need us to do anything, just say the word. Listen to my command. By the way, do you know who I am? Without a word, the siblings knelt down on the spot. We, on behalf of the Qin family, thank our benefactor for saving our lives and bringing us blessings. We are eternally grateful. As soon as they said this, cold sweat broke out on the man's forehead. One was heaven and earth overturned. The other oceans changed to mulberry fields. The two siblings were instantly confused. Not a bit of chemistry. The man glanced back at the siblings and said, Next, you two were nothing more than using a cannon to hit a mosquito. Overqualified for the job. At this moment, Qin Ying said he thought of an idiom. Qin Hui said he also thought of an idiom. Dust mixed with violent lightning buried the body. Afterwards, the men's camp stood like a war god before my eyes. This scene also caught Chu Tian's attention. In his eyes, the actions of the men's camp, Lan Ziying immediately signaled, Leave this one to me. With that, she clenched her fist and unleashed a 50x stacked earth element punch spell. A massive dragon formed from yellow soil shot up from the ground. In an instant, the killer was turned into meat. Next, the men's camp delivered another burial. Qin Su unleashed the hell extermination skill, while Yin, the man, watched the siblings' every move from the side. The rotting giant corpses' face twitched. Meanwhile, the vines tightly bound the Slayer. The last remaining Slayer still tried to escape. Didn't expect the power of the Force Curse to be so strong, but just at that moment, a decaying giant lion launched a sneak attack on Qin Ying from behind. Yin immediately warned Sharksin. Seeing this, Qin Ying quickly activated the Alloy Vine Sand skill. Supposed to solve half of it, let's leave the rest to us. Wen Yan looked at Yin, speechless. Sorry, I couldn't hold back just now. At the same time, his elemental spellcaster skill reached level 2. Using another 200 spells will upgrade it. Upon seeing this scene, the talented Qin Ying was immediately puzzled. Isn't the benefactor? With the amplification of 100 times the forbidden spell, a massive storm of lightning quickly filled the sky. It bombarded the area where the tribe was located. The tribe was instantly charred on the outside and tender on the inside. It quickly resolved more than half of the anomalies. Only then can we wipe them out completely. Just now, the men's camp immediately launched a lightning element forbidden spell. He waved his hand. and crackling lightning shot out from his palm. But even he couldn't guarantee that all the prodigies would survive. Rather than treating the symptoms, it's better to get to the root of the problem. Let the prodigies all emerge at once, and lure out all the assassins from the various clans. As for the remaining half, let me test the power of my curse. The prodigy of the Dagu clan emerged as the Blue Star invaded the Dragon Kingdom, but they were ruthlessly assassinated by their own clan. The Blue Man made every effort to rescue them alone. The two were dumbfounded on the spot, no sibling involvement allowed. The man immediately amplified their power tenfold. After a round of gut-wrenching screams, the man smiled and said, "From now on, you must kill half of each group yourselves." Just then, a red light suddenly appeared. It directly severed the rotting giant corpse's tongue. After a dazzling flash of white light, a figure stood proudly in front of the siblings. The strangling vines instantly unleashed. Suddenly, two massive tree vines swept toward the slayer. Who would have thought that two rotting giant corpses would appear above the two of them? Heartbreak immediately reminded her brother to be careful, but at that moment, they couldn't react at all. Attack was right in front of Qin Ying, but at this critical moment, his sister Qin Kui's body shielded him. Seeing this, Qin Ying roared in fury, "Beast! How dare you hurt my sister?" The slayer broke through the giant wall and charged at them. Seeing this, Qin Ying immediately activated the Sky Kills skill. Tree roots and vines intertwined, attacking the slayer, but soon she realized it was completely useless. In the blink of an eye, the slayers. Suddenly, a giant wall made of plants appeared in front of them. At the same time he shouted at Qin Su, "Now's your chance. Hurry up and go. Why are you dawdling?" But before he could finish speaking, Qin Sui insisted, "If we leave together. If we die together." She would rather die than leave Qin Ying, determined to fight until the last moment. Helpless Qin Ying gritted her teeth, and immediately activated her plant spirit summoning skill. They beat the lizards on the spot, leaving them defenseless. Meanwhile, 20 kilometers away by the Qinling Creek, in the wilds where the 5 tribes were, the Qin family's Qin Hui and his men were surrounded by foreign tribes. Qin Hui said, "I'll hold off the enemy. Sui Su, you take the chance to escape quickly." King Qin's spirit glanced at the giant lizard. "So, this is the tribe that spared my descendants' homeland. Wang Jian, Meng Tian, show no mercy." Upon hearing this, the two warrior spirits instantly roared in anger. Without another word, they stood together with several green giant lizards. "I have come to help you. Xiao Bai, stop dazing. Get up quickly, let's finish this quickly." At this moment, Su Chang was still in a daze, but he still expressed his gratitude. At that critical moment, the killer's long knife was struck down by a thin sword. Seeing this, Su Chang's heart tightened instantly. Could this be Qin Shi Huang? At this moment, the king of Qin slowly opened his mouth and said, "I am here to assist you on behalf of someone. If this continues, he would surely die." But as he watched the killer's long knife come down, Su Chang'e suddenly broke into a smile, thinking that he might as well go down with him. Even if he died in battle here today, the other party would never gain any advantage from him. Seeing this, Su Chang dodged the attack with a quick move. Then, with a move called 100 Ghosts Collide, he controlled the giant lizard. But the slaughterer suddenly became incredibly fierce, and with one strike, split open the giant lizard puppet's body. Su Chang'e immediately thought it was bad. Fortunately, the giant lizard's skin was tough and thick, so it wasn't afraid of being chopped. Holding on for a while shouldn't be a problem. Who would have thought in just the blink of an eye? The giant lizard puppet was forced to retreat repeatedly, and another green giant lizard attacked Su Chang from behind. After one exchange, the giant lizard puppet was left with only a defense. Seeing this, Su Chang was dumbfounded. Damn it, the alien race really showed no mercy. His brother just cut without hesitation. Not enough manpower. Damn it, you two get up and make up the numbers. As he spoke, threads tightly wrapped around the giant lizard's arm. Suddenly, the giant lizard puppet stood up and joined the alien race. but Su Chang'e clearly underestimated the strength of the slaughterer. "Take him down for me, damn it." But even so, facing the slaughterers of another race, he was still clearly at a disadvantage. Then he looked at the giant lizard's corpse beside him, and he was also a spirit summoner. In his hand, he held a long red thread. He immediately used the 100 Ghosts crash skill against the green giant lizard. The green giant lizard instantly became Su Chang'e's puppet. All masters heed my command, so they led 2 groups of soldiers to support them. Then, Chu Tian activated the teleportation array. At this moment, on the eastern battlefield, a prodigy was fiercely battling against an alien racing. This person was none other than Su Chang'e, a prodigy of the Su family. It would be impossible to rescue both at the same time, but King Qin Hun immediately saw his dilemma. He slightly opened his mouth and said, "Wang Jian, Meng Tian, step forward." Suddenly, the great generals of the Qin dynasty appeared. Wang Jian and Meng Tian's husband immediately followed him. Reaching 100 spells will allow for an upgrade. Suddenly, a strange sound came from the distance. The man immediately sensed that something was wrong. Surely, another ancient clan genius is being hunted by a foreign race. And in 2 different directions, 10 major elemental condensation forbidden spells. The higher the level, the stronger the power. Borrow the power of heaven and earth. The force is doubled, and a single forbidden spell consumes 10,000 stones. And it can stack infinitely. They can only dissipate if killed continuously and times within 1 minute. To level up to level 4, 40 million undead need to be summoned. However, the available original stones for men's silver is only 89.5 million. Fortunately, the elemental forbidden spell talent has finally been activated. I have also become a level 1 elemental forbidden spell master. Millions of Qin army souls suddenly appeared before the man's camp, and the soul of the Qin king stood by with his hand raised. At this moment, the summoning of spirits in the man's camp also reached level 3, to summon 10 million Qin army souls, and they can be infinitely reborn within the non-dissolution time. The man Yin held the Qin army's tiger talisman in both hands. "All soldiers, listen up, the enemy is invading. We will guard our homeland together against the demons." As soon as he finished speaking, a fierce wind roared across the field. "Our juniors are in trouble. How can we not lend a hand? This tiger talisman can mobilize thousands of my troops. Combined with your abilities, we will be invincible. Not only that, but even the 2 greatest warrior spirits of Qin, Wang Jian and Meng Tian, they have all become generals at the mercy of men. Just now." The man then recounted the incident of the invasion of various races. The first emperor of Qin, who has been asleep for over 2,000 years, has now been summoned by a man to awaken his spirit. Who would have thought that the emperor was not angry, but even handed over the tiger tally of the Qin army to him? Since then, the souls of millions of Qin soldiers have been at the man's command. Upon hearing this, the spirit of the Qin king sneered. "You won, boy, but I'm very curious. Over these 2,000 years, while I was asleep, can you first explain to me the ins and outs of borrowing this army? You brat, if you keep fighting, you're going to destroy the entire Qin emperor's tomb." The man in silver immediately sheathed his long sword. "Thank you for your mercy, senior," was scattered all over the ground. At this point, he couldn't believe his eyes. Just as the man was about to strike again, the spirit of King Qin shouted, "Stop, stop, stop. How is this possible?" But the man couldn't care less at this point. He had offended a senior. With that said, he swung the knife. At that moment, the spirit of King Qin. But the man didn't get angry. Instead, he was calm. Right. As soon as he finished speaking, the body of the true dragon soul began to emit waves of red energy. As the energy grew stronger, the Qin King's soul immediately displayed a look of disbelief. The 2 immediately entered a state of battle. With a loud boom, the giant skeleton was instantly obliterated. The true dragon soul appeared to be completely unharmed. Suddenly, the soul of the Qin King spoke. This is just for show. Truly worthy of an emperor and undead. Looks like hell have to use his finishing move, and thus, it immediately entered the Ashura Max realm of human hell. It instantly transformed into a gigantic skeleton. It stretched out its claws and grabbed at the dragon soul of the Chin King, so he directly entered the Ashura demon fury state. His body instantly transformed. Beasts appeared behind him, but who would thought, in just one round, his beast spirit was instantly killed by the true dragon. The divine dragon of the emperor appears. Suddenly, a divine dragon formed from the true dragon's aura appeared behind him. The soul of King Chin shouted angrily, "True dragon annihilation." The dragon opened its massive jaws and charged towards the man's camp. The men's camp couldn't hold out. Only after fighting would he understand the beauty of classical language. The vengeful spirit immediately cursed, "Bastard!" Enraged, the man Silver instantly entered the Ashura dragon sand state. Seeing this, the soul of King Chin snorted coldly. "With this, you dare to call it dragon sand? I'll show you what true dragon sand is. What kind of spectacle haven't I seen? You dare to show off in front of me with such petty tricks?" Then the weapons of the two clashed fiercely. Suddenly, the arena was illuminated by dazzling red and blue sword lights. At this moment, the man continued to speak, saying he had never seen anything like it. The man also took a fighting stance. "In that case, I shall not hold back against you, Shura Taike." The Chin King indeed looked disdainful. "I have unified the 6 kingdoms. My soldiers are not toys that you can control at will. But there are ways to do it. Since you want to borrow my troops, let me see your abilities first." With that, he charged at the man. "I'm being a bit verbose. Now danger is imminent. I would like to borrow some troops from you." But as soon as he finished speaking, King Chin angrily rebuked him, calling him a fool. After being dead for 1,000 years, he still had such a presence. Could this be the power of an emperor-level undead? I don't even know if I can explain it to him clearly. So, the man slowly began to speak. "Senior, please forgive me. Who dares, you insolent fool, to disturb the soul of a king?" Even the man hadn't expected this. He originally just wanted to summon some undead soldiers. Who would have thought he'd summon the spirit of Qin Shi Huang? Red lightning suddenly appeared on the ground. Then the red lightning transformed into a gigantic circular magic array. Countless auras of the departed rushed wildly into the magic array. But in the next second, the man was dumbfounded on the spot. The man Yin stared intently into the distance. The aura of the departed slowly emerged from his body. He immediately activated the necromancy summoning skill. "Awaken, spirit of the great Qin." As soon as he finished speaking, in the blink of an eye, the two of them had already teleported to their destination, just as the man Yin instructed Chu Tian to find a safe place to hide. He realized Chu Tian was already gone. Looks like this girl is sharper than her brother. Lan Ziying realized they weren't at the Qin tombs at all. So she asked Chu Tian if he had teleported them to the wrong place. But she noticed that Chu Tian was preparing for a second teleportation. Only then did he realize that his teleportation range was limited. The amplified single teleport range was restricted to within 100 kilometers. Then she looked at Chu Tian and said, "Take me to the Qin tombs 100 kilometers away." Upon hearing this, Chu Tian closed his eyes without a word. As he chanted the teleportation spell, the two of them quickly vanished before the beast. After the teleportation was complete, their efficiency also improved significantly. The raw stones they carried reached an impressive 99.5 million. Necromancer Summon, Initial Level 1. It only requires 1 million undead to level up. It's time to summon the first batch of undead. That the blue camp has acquired a large amount of raw stones from the slaughtering. Moreover, Chu Tian has unlimited teleportation. The upcoming upgrade sets and layouts will be much faster than before. In no time, the two of them arrived in the wilderness. His cooperation with Chu Tian was quite smooth. At this, Zhang Yuan suddenly had a guess in her mind. It seems this guy has become considerably stronger than before. He doesn't seem like someone who is afraid of death. Why is he fighting so hard in the back, but refuses to go to the front line? What he doesn't know is, applying is definitely not a problem. After all, slaughtering in most cities is no small matter. The literary man from the camp said nothing. Then I will trouble you with this. Miss Zhang Yuan, I have something to attend to, so I will leave first. Just in terms of distance, you wouldn't make it. But Nan Ziling signaled him not to think too much. Just help me apply, that's all. As for these issues, he has ways to solve them. Seeing this, Zhang Yuan pondered for a moment. At the same time, Zhang Yuan also came looking for you. He said you want to support all the slaughter workers for 20 cities on the 5th defense line. How could you possibly do that? Let's not even mention the huge workload. With that, the true dragon's fatal strike burst forth. The man, Ying, also entered the Shura Max Hell arena. The battle between the two was about to begin. The outcome is still undecided for now. Just a moment ago. Who dares to confront me, Xiao Xiao? How dare you challenge my soul? The man, Ying, quickly explained he only came to borrow soldiers. But the Qin King's soul dismissed it with disdain. My soldiers are not for you mere children to command. The soul of the Qin King, dormant for over 2,000 years, has finally awakened. It turns out that the man in silver wants to gather an army of 1 million undead, and the first place to choose is the Qin King's tomb. Because the undead soldiers here have the most killing intent. But who would have thought that they would accidentally summon the Qin King's soul instead? If that's the case, we can not only take on all the slaughterhouse tasks at the 5th defense line, he no longer needs to hide his necromancy behind a superficial profession. And he can also level up without any hesitation. Awakened. Lan Ziying had a look of utter despair. She thought, this must be Chu Tian's doing, right? Could he be the same Chu Tian who ranked 12th on the previous leaderboard? But with him around, the journey can definitely save a lot of time. But these words instantly reached Chu Tian. Chu Tian's gaze instantly turned extremely cold, as a strange black-purple energy shot out from his hand. The aunt who was previously gossiping suddenly vanished. Unexpectedly, Chu Tian teleported them into a cesspit. The man looked confused at Chu Xinghei's words. Are you sure you're not asking me to help take care of the child? It's just that my younger sister, Chu Tian, looks like she's only a few years old. The nearby aunt couldn't help but comment that this man is really unlucky. At this time, he still has the face to play with the child. They'll definitely drive the whole clan back home. After that, the man returned to the slaughterhouse. Chu Xinghei said, Senior, I'll leave my sister in your care. I believe he'll definitely be able to help you. Others take cars when they enlist. At most, they fly in planes, but the Chu family actually flies themselves. I've only seen scenes like this in old novels. The prodigies are going to fight. Assassin rank, 8th among the Espers. But the biggest news is that Chu Xinghei will lead the entire Chu family to support the 7th defense line. As soon as the news broke, everyone was shocked on the spot, truly worthy of the legendary prodigy of the ancient clan. As soon as he said this, Yin was speechless on the spot. The next day, news of Chu Xinghei slaying the rotting giant corpse went viral, and his ranking shot up to 9th on the ability rankings. The mysterious formation master counter-kills a clan. From what he learned from Chu Xinghei, he had a mute sister, but the teleportation ability is indeed impressive. If enhanced and kept by the senior's side, it might be of great use. The man patted his shoulder again. Then he suggested to Chu Xinghei, take me to the Chu family. Before you go to the front line, let me set up an enhancement array for you. Chu Xinghei is just a senior. You don't need to say much. As long as there's one person from the Chu family alive, I will do my best to protect them. Hearing this answer, Xinghei, I indeed need a lot more time. But the front line is extremely dangerous compared to here. I hope you can stay alive and meet with me then. And if you encounter anyone at the 7th defense line. But I haven't finished speaking. and I can buy you more time." At that moment, the man realized that there truly are people with exceptional intelligence in this world. He can be called a kindred spirit. So he patted Chu Xing's shoulder and said, "Thank you. It doesn't mean I had no internet or electricity. After all, one must keep up with the times." With that, Chu Xinghe patted his chest heavily. "Senior, I, Chu Xinghe, am willing to lead the Chu family to support the 7th Defense Line. This is indeed our family's duty." So I asked, "Weren't the prodigies all in seclusion before the incident? How do you know so much?" Hearing this, Chu Xinghe responded calmly, "Senior, you may not know this, but even though I was in seclusion, Senior, I don't need to spell it out for you, right? Of course, all of this is just my speculation. If anything is inaccurate, please don't mind it, Senior." At this moment, the man Yin still looked bewildered, and combined with the range of their actions, it's not hard to guess. Shura corrects the righteous path through killing. That person resembles a butcher's formation near the 5th backup defense line. That person just applied for the position a few days ago. As soon as Datu finished speaking, the man in the camp was dumbfounded on the spot. "Damn, this kid is really good at reading people." But Chu Xinghe continued, speaking steadily, saying, "Considering someone's unusual behavior on the trending search list, is Chu Xinghe also this brilliant in strategy?" Seeing this, Chu Xing's expression immediately turned serious. From his expression, "I think I must have guessed right. May I ask if Senior's surname starts with Inu?" The senior set the formation here. "The final battle is to be set here." As soon as these words were spoken, the men in the camp were startled. Besides having exceptional combat talent, but the timing isn't right yet. It can't be revealed to the world, so he's using illusions to avoid being detected by foreign enemies. As everyone knows, the recent victory was in defense against the foreign invaders. Senior, you are both the mysterious Shura and secretly arranging formations. Your actions are well hidden. Still wearing a mask, he must be plotting something big in secret. The entire Chu family is willing to serve you with all our might." As soon as he spoke, the man was stunned on the spot. "You should stand up before saying that." But as Chu Xinghe stood up, a sly smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. And Chu Xinghe also dealt with the rotting giant corpse. Seeing this, the man slowly said, "Not bad. Your combat strength seems decent." Upon hearing this, Chu Xinghe quickly knelt down. "Thank you for your life-saving grace and enlightenment, Senior." Immediately, I activated the level 4 Thunder Strike Array. A full 50,000 formations were stacked together. Suddenly, a screen full of thunder and sword energy shot out. It charged straight towards the killer's body. It instantly killed the killer. Immediately, several streaks of purple sword light pierced straight toward the rotting giant. At the same time, the Slayer also broke free from the ice formation's restraints. With a sudden burst, it shot straight toward the man's eagle head. I didn't expect it to break free so quickly. A sudden buzzing explosion echoed in the air. Lan Ziying immediately looked up in its direction. To her surprise, Chu Xinghe not only woke up, but also activated the Chu family's domain to take control. Chu Xing let out an angry shout, sending splashes flying. But seeing his current state, "Forget it." As she spoke, Lan Ziying tightened her gloves. It seems she would have to do it herself today. But just then, so the man quickly retracted the formation, and Chu Xing collapsed to the ground with a thud. Although it is said that Chu Xing's tolerance for the amplification formation is limited, 10 times is more than enough for him to protect himself. He initially wanted to take this opportunity to let him practice on the rotting giant stone, but the man Yin didn't stop at all. He just quietly watched as Chu Xinghe writhed in agony. At that moment, the system suddenly issued a warning. Due to the human body being unable to withstand an amplification of more than 10 times, forcing the amplification can cause the amplifier to die on the spot. Aside from setting up the amplification array in a domain, if it could be arranged within a human body, He spoke as he placed his fingertip on Chu Xinghe's forehead, immediately setting up a 10x amplification array on him. Chu Xinghe's face twitched instantly. Tianjiao is gifted and strong beyond others. It's just a pity he hasn't truly matured yet. If he can quickly figure this out, the man seems to realize something. Could he be the mysterious Asura, ranked 10th? At this moment, the man pondered for a while. It's rare to have such a real combat opportunity. Instead of killing him with one strike, it would be better to let Tianjiao hone his combat skills. Now looking at the men's camp, a sudden violent explosion occurred ahead. It seems the decaying giant corpse is hard to handle, so he immediately switched to the Asura slaughterer mode. Chu Xinghe, witnessing this scene, was dumbfounded, seeing that Chu Xinghe was about to be ensnared by the giant snake. Luckily, a man nearby shouted a warning about the rotting giant corpse's attack. This allowed Chu Xinghe to evade it. In that instant, Chu Xinghe swiftly dodged, vanished without a trace. Just now, under Chu Xinghe's shocked expression, the killer was unexpectedly frozen solid by the ice trap. Just as Chu Xing was in a daze, the rotting giant corpse suddenly extended its 40-meter-long giant snake, is willing to vow to follow him as his maid. This is because the prodigy from the ancient clan saw through it at a glance. He is not only a practitioner from the Dragon Kingdom, but also the 10th ranked deity. The secret humiliation is that he is also the 9th ranked formation master among practitioners. Clearly, he is a cowardly deserter in the eyes of the world, but the ancient clan's prodigies confirm his subservience. Obediently at their command, even Chu Tian, ranked 12th in the Dragon Kingdom with spatial abilities, who is still the little sister of a prodigy, and hidden in the dark. The formation is unknown to others. His fighting techniques are unlike any ancient clan. Who exactly is he? What is his purpose? But he could only watch helplessly as they pierced through his crops. On the other side of the battlefield, Chu Xinghe was using agile movements to draw the decaying giant's attention. He also saw the magnificent formation in front of him. It was far more powerful than the formations he had seen before. 50,000 menacing spike formations overlapped. 50,000 frost freeze formations overlapped. Countless black and blue spikes suddenly pierced out. Seeing this scene, the Steel Slayer was also shocked. Immediately, they surrounded the Steel Killer tightly. But the man's camp soon discovered that a level 3 formation was completely ineffective. In that case, he suddenly slammed his hand onto the ground. A red formation lit up around him. Steel Slayer, long time no see. I'll take you down today. With that, he directly activated the third Calamity sub-array. Countless huge spikes broke through the ground. Remember, they are all top-tier assassins. Be extremely careful. The two aliens also sensed the unknown level Esper. Their orders were to eliminate him on the spot. The man gathered red energy in his right hand, with a senior's assistance. I can still fight. Then the man named Yin began to arrange things. You go distract that rotting giant corpse from a distance, and I will take the lead in attacking that Steel Slayer. And the person who arrived was none other than Ying. At this moment, Chu Xinghe couldn't help but wonder, are you the master I sensed earlier? But Ying didn't answer, and he asked if you can still fight. Upon hearing this, Chu Xinghe struggled to stand up. He would definitely be loyal unto death. But at that moment, a voice suddenly came from behind, get out of the way. Then there was a loud bang. A violent explosion occurred. Even if he were to die in battle today, he at least wanted to take an enemy down with him. So, he immediately bit through his fingertip, wanting to forcefully stimulate his inner potential using a secret technique. But the result of doing this, he was directly blasted away on the spot, and he once again spat out a mouthful of old blood. I never expected that as soon as Chu Xinghe was born, he would lose his life here without having killed a single enemy. Thinking of this, he truly felt unwilling. At the same time, facing two powerful beings from another race was somewhat difficult. Both the blade of the Steel Killer and the heavy fist of the decaying giant struck Chu Xinghe simultaneously. There was a series of thuds. In an instant, the scene was filled with flying corpses. Chu Xingye took 2 heavy hits from the otherworldly beings. At this moment, Chu Xingye is locked in a fierce battle with the alien slaughterer. Several energy scimitars clash with the slaughtera's weapon, but his attack is quickly and easily broken by the slaughterer. Chu Xingye spits out a mouthful of blood on the spot. Because he had just been born, his foundation was still unstable. Humans barely survived for another 8 years, fighting desperately. Since last year, the myriad races have been sending top assassins to secretly lie in wait, searching for the prodigies of the ancient clans. As soon as they emerge, they are mercilessly eliminated on the spot. Now, his plans also involve the ancient clans. Therefore, they cannot be allowed to fall so early, because, in this life, many things have happened ahead of time. I'm afraid there may be changes in the emergence of the ancient clans' prodigies. In the previous life, the ancient clans' prodigies only appeared in the 12th year of the myriad races, and they reignited hope for the defeated humans. Because of this, as he spoke, an ancient mysterious symbol appeared in his hand. Anyone who offends me will be slaughtered, neither extinguished nor resting. At the same time, the men's camp is also rushing this way. Chu Qing and Nu, he shouted in unison. The domain erupted. Countless flying swords shot towards the monsters in the domain, and that was far from enough to kill them. In the next moment, the red flame landing skill was activated. Chu Xingye slowly extended his hands. He immediately brought his hands together and formed a gesture. He shouted, "Domain control." Suddenly, a surge of purple energy erupted from his hands. A blue field enveloped the 2 alien monsters. It seems they have been watching the ancient clan's talents for a long time. And the other one is the rotten giant corpse, labeled as alien number 1324. At the same time, the alien races detected the presence of a level 10 human prodigy. The order received was to eliminate it on the spot. Soon, the Steel Slayer charged towards Chu Xingye. He dodged with a leap, but the next second, another alien beast attacked him. Seeing this, Chu Xingye was startled. These 2 are at least powerful beings from another race, and he had just emerged from seclusion, only to be targeted by these guys. Suddenly, he heard a whooshing sound from behind. Turning around, he saw an Iron Slayer, serial number 3578 from the myriad races. Its mission this time was to assassinate Chu Xingye, the prodigy of the ancient clan. Fortunately, Chu Xingye reacted quickly. He activated the Chu family's domain and flew into the sky. If I can receive some guidance from an expert, this trip won't be in vain. Before long, he discovered the formation left by the man named Yin. But he had never heard of anyone in the Dragon Kingdom with such advanced formation skills. Thus, he became even more certain that the expert must be hiding in the northwest. However, the old man said that recently, a tribe has been hunting the talents of the ancient clans. If I go on this journey, it might be a one-way trip. But Chu Xingye left only a remark about a great calamity. I cannot avoid this trip. After saying that, he turned around and left without looking back. The spiritual energy is so scarce in the northwest border. How could a strong warrior with such momentum appear? It is precisely because of this. It only adds to the confusion. So I decided to personally investigate the northwest. The young man is Chu Xingye, the 307th genius of the Chu family. The reason he was able to emerge 2 years early is that he sensed a powerful aura in the northwest border. He was inspired. That's why he broke through and emerged early. But today, there was a sudden loud bang. This instantly shocked the elder beside it. The elder was none other than Chu Changxiong, the clan leader of the Chu clan. Why did Xinghe girl come out 2 years early? Wasn't she supposed to wait for the 12 years of the 10,000 clans before emerging? Who exactly is he? And what is his goal? Just now, meanwhile, in the secluded Chu clan of the ancient family in the mountains, there stood a stone monument in the back mountain of the Chu clan. Helpless, he had no choice but to use a secret technique to perish together with the clan. Fortunately, a man named Yin appeared in time after hearing the commotion that saved his life. After seeing the formation, the man Yun had cast. He was even more shocked. It must be that the alien race had begun assassinating human elites. A top genius of the ancient clan appeared with overwhelming dominance. He originally thought he could easily wipe out the alien race on his own. But who could have imagined, after just one round, he was hit by a small head of the clan, spitting out a mouthful of blood. But just then, a terrifying aura came from behind. It was clearly the familiar aura of the alien race. In addition, there was the aura of human elites. Upon seeing this, the man Yin immediately realized something was wrong. The 75-kilometer defensive line from Wanqing to Chuqing stacks a total of 3.75 million level 2 formations. It also includes a lightning strike formation and an undead reinforcement formation. The amplification array has reached a terrifying 40 times. With this, the next level up might take quite a while. At this moment, the man realized that if he could quickly activate the forbidden spell element, this defense line would be far more useful. Then the man began hunting beasts, capturing raw stones. With these 90 million raw stones, I can level up to 4 in one go. The electrified steel walls first kill a wave of them. Even if the strong from other races break the steel walls, they will be greeted by another wave of fire attacks. The engineer looked excited. This plan is just too perfect. So he hurriedly prepared to report to the superiors. We can prepare for their layout in advance. This way, we will be ready for any emergencies later. So he picked up a pen and wrote it down in his notebook, suggesting that the engineering team could dig a water channel at the front and back of the city walls, directing water in from the front and drawing it in from the back. Indeed, if the various races attack, they will unknowingly enter the real defense line. But even to deceive the enemy, we need to make the defense design more practical. Otherwise, the other races are not fools either. Before long, the men's camp came up with a countermeasure, although the axial element talents haven't been activated yet. But the man camp first patted his shoulder and said, "Li Gong, you guys continue with the regular construction. I'll come up with an enhanced plan." Actually, this defensive line was meant to confuse the enemy. Once they come and let their guard down, take a look at this first. It turns out to be the 5th defense plan designed by the man's camp. The western battlefield was simply unable to withstand it. Moreover, the comments section was filled with negative opinions about the man's camp. Li Gong said that if things really get out of hand, it won't end well. For now, there's no need for a level 3 formation. It would waste raw stones and affect upgrades. We can wait for the second layer setup. The man won and decided to set up the first layer of the defense line in Leaf City, 35 kilometers long, a total of 1.25 million secondary overlapping formations. The scene shifts to the construction site the next day. Engineer Li hurriedly approached Nangong to report. Next time, setting up the formation could reach 5 million. As for the raw stones, only 25 million remain. Currently, the level 2 formations are interwoven and cover a full 10 kilometers. This heavy formation is sufficient to effectively block low-level clans. 50,000 flame-burning formations overlap over 1 kilometer. 50,000 elemental sword chi formations overlap over 1 kilometer. A total of 500,000 formations are deployed, and the abilities have upgraded to level 3. Activate the formation. First, the Fierce Formation, Frost Freeze Formation, and the 20x Amplification Formation. The Sun and Moon reign supreme, slaughtering Yin and Yang. The Elemental Sword Chi Formation is instantly deployed. 50,000 formations stack over 1 kilometer. 2 formations overlap, stretching a full kilometer. 50,000 Elemental Sword Chi formations overlap over 1 kilometer. Heavenly Fire, Earth's Blaze, fierce and far-reaching. The blazing formation has been set up. 50,000 formations stacked over a kilometer. The area was instantly lit with a strange red array. Currently, only 35 million primal stones are available. That's enough to set up 1.75 million second-tier formations. 3.5 million level 1 formations. The area between Yeqing and the 5th backup defense line is desolate, perfect for setting up the formation. But only Manzian knows that this steel electric wall is just a decoy. It can't effectively resist the myriad races. The real strategy lies in the formation, and setting up the formation requires a huge amount of primal stones, and the men's camp successfully became the main assault of the 5th defense line. The urban male assault truly lives up to its reputation as top graduates from the architecture department. If this design plan is implemented, the 30-meter high and 10-meter thick steel electric wall will connect 20 cities. Not even tanks could break through. We must properly arrange the 5th defense line, because that is the last battlefield for humanity and all races. I swear, old man, I will never let you down. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. This also means that it will be difficult to upgrade again on the battlefield, as more and more strong enemies appear among the various races. With humanity's current strength, defeat is still inevitable, and to ultimately achieve victory. Besides, it will only repeat the mistakes of the past. I would also let you and my sister down, and I still won't be able to protect our mother. All races are non-carbon-based life forms. Therefore, it is impossible to obtain raw stones from them. Dad, I've remembered everything you said. You were right. Now that I'm going to the battlefield, killing a few of them is of no benefit to the overall situation. What about the slaughterhouse? The man turned his head and smiled slightly. Don't worry, it won't affect the slaughtering. At the same time, outside Yeching, Nanfu and the other veterans headed off to the front lines in great numbers, and Nancy Ying could only watch from afar. I just wanted to say something to everyone. The other day, Justice, aren't they going to build the 5th line of defense? I want to apply for the chief engineer position. Wenyan Xiaoliu was taken aback. If the front line runs out of supplies, we're done for. Aunt Wang was comforting you by saying, if anyone dares to talk about you online again, he'll shut them down for you. The man softly said, I'm fine. This also made him firmly affirm his thoughts. Seeing the man's expression, Xiaoliu quickly stepped forward to comfort the director. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You've been handling all the slaughter tasks in Yeching on your own. Plus, your mom is still in Night City. You have to stay and protect her for me. Seeing this, the man felt a pang of sadness. It turns out that everything he did was noticed by his parents. That mysterious Shura on the leaderboard is probably you, right? Don't think a mask is enough to fool your old man. Since you've held out this long, don't give up easily just because of us. And don't pay too much attention to outside voices. I don't know exactly what you're planning or enduring, but Dad knows you're definitely plotting something big, because since childhood, you've never backed down from challenges. That's something you got from me. Ha 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 ha. Don't think I don't know, kid. Just as Yin announced his intention to enlist in the army, Aunt Liu suddenly handed him a letter. It turned out to be a letter left for him by Nanfu before heading to the battlefield. Although Dad's cooking skills are legendary, he is also a soldier. Only by doing this can we make them lower their guard and enter the real sandstorm defenses unprepared, letting millions of them come and go without return, leaving them with no place to rest in death. Just now, are you really going to spend so much manpower and resources to build a reinforced electrical Great Wall, only to have the public in the comments section criticize it as a shoddy project, only because they have officially been shown to be weak on the Western battlefield? Little do they know, this is just the end of the friendship in the South China Sea. This line of defense is merely a trick to confuse the foreign tribes. Immediately, they angrily said that these people were going too far. But just at that moment, a man named Yin suddenly appeared. He sternly said that there was something important he needed to explain to everyone. The three were shocked at his words. Today, a son fights in place of his father. I really can't stand a man like this, such a coward, a useless son with a heroic father. But all these insults were shot down by Wang Yi. The two picked up their phones and took a look. I was online arguing with those guys all night last night. It turns out the man is welcoming his father. He wants to welcome the veteran back. He is about to head to the 7th defense line to fend off all races. In ancient times, Mulan took her father's place in the army. How can he keep this up? His body won't handle it. Seeing this, Aunt Wang became furious. Isn't this all caused by those annoying reporters? Upon hearing this, Li looked puzzled. What news? Wang Yi took out her phone. Haven't you all seen it? It was also time to say goodbye to everyone and head to the front line. At this moment, Aunt Wang and the others had already arrived at the workshop early, but they found the door to the slaughterhouse wide open. I thought the factory manager must have been working overnight to slaughter this child. He'll probably come home after dinner. Each time consumes 20 original stones, and it can stack infinitely. The number of formations that can be arranged for the next upgrade can reach 500,000. After finishing, he went alone to the rooftop of the building. At this time, the sky was just beginning to brighten. An hour later, the formation could also be upgraded to level 2. The blazing formation can be used with a 10-fold amplification burning array, elemental sword, aura formation. As long as the workshop is filled with arrays, butchering will save much time and effort in the future. Then we arrived at the second slaughterhouse. Immediately, 200 formations of evil energy were set up. Countless mutant beasts were instantly slaughtered on the spot. Then let's stack 2,000 sword energy arrays and give it a try. Immediately, a more terrifying energy surged out from within. Countless sword lights flashed by. Dozens of mutated beasts were instantly killed. With this, the man let out a loud chant. Sword chi surged up. Instantly, the flying swords spun even faster. Dozens of mutated beasts were killed on the spot. The power of a single level 1 sword energy array is still too weak. Also met the conditions for upgrading formations. So, he prepared to test the power of the array with a mutated beast. He silently chanted the heavenly stems and earthly branches. Myriad sword chi. Suddenly, countless energy swords began to rapidly swirl at the top of the array. And I must speed up the leveling process. He'll head back to the slaughterhouse to get some primal stones. First, quickly killed tens of thousands of mutant beasts. Available primal stones, 100,000 points. Able to set up 10,000 formations. It requires setting up 10,000 formations to upgrade. Each formation requires a basic consumption of 10 essence stones. The power of the formations can be stacked infinitely. The talent for formations has finally been unlocked. This means there will be even more to do next. At this time, the number of tamed beasts in the men's camp has reached a terrifying 3,500,000 steel giant wolves and steel-bone cattle, 1 million leopard monkeys, and war elephants. At this moment, the system sent a notification. Currently, there is a level 1 formation with amplification and sword energy formations. The million battle elephants are ordered to guard the Sea of Gardens. Collect the raw stones. Do not harm anyone. Do not attack the city. Remain on standby. Hundreds more elephants rushed over. The war elephants were all frightened and sweating profusely. At this moment, they all had only one thought in their minds. That was to keep it a secret. The man radiated an eerie red energy from his body. The man held a silver spear and a long sword above the elephant's head. Go tell all your companions that if anyone dares to defy, there will be no mercy. With the war elephants charging forward, so I don't have time to chat with you. As he spoke, several strange red lights appeared in his hand. He smashed them down onto the battle elephant's head. Immediately, a terrifying wave of energy radiated from the battle elephant's head. By now, the war elephants gradually calmed down. In response, the man's camp quickly retaliated with a strike. He directly split the tree stump in half. Then, with a whoosh, he vanished. The next moment, he leaped onto the back of the battle elephant. Sorry, I'm in a hurry. Don't hide. Suddenly, a huge creature charged out from behind a tree stump with a roar. In the blink of an eye, it was in front of the man's camp. Without saying a word, it swung the tree stump toward the man's camp. Soon, the man arrived at the Sea of Gardens. In fact, the reason he rushed here was to tame a few more battle elephants before going to the battlefield. This can greatly enhance the strength of the human race. He shouted into the empty forest. Can't the man just indicate for him to finish eating before leaving? The man pondered for a moment, lowering his head. After all, they are family and have already met. Let him go then. He has his own matters to attend to as well. Each one can easily crush the strongest of the human race. It's time to head to the battlefield to upgrade my abilities. Just now, I hadn't even finished my meal. The man Yin was already preparing to turn and leave. During his time in logistics, he only managed to raise the formation's abilities to level 2. It will even upgrade the surer abilities to a hellish state in the human realm. What's even more terrifying is, there's a full army of 3 million exotic beasts, and serve in logistics as a foot soldier. Everyone laughed at him as the bare son of a heroic father. Little did they know, the man had lived again. Now going to the battlefield is no different from a moth to the flame. He would bring about his own demise, mobilizing 100 million overnight. Even my 50-year-old father answered the call of the veterans to resist the 10,000 clans. But my son has clearly awakened 5 god-level talents, but chose to stay. At this time, the man Yin Kai slammed the table hard. Struggling for a while, I finally made a decision. Dad, I will go with you. The invasion of the 10,000 clans in the Langxin Dragon Kingdom. At this time the mother couldn't stand it anymore. If it's really not possible, I'll go in place of my son. Suddenly, the entire scene fell silent. At this moment, the photographer and Fanglin were also shocked by the family's momentum. Sorry to interrupt, we're leaving. Doesn't that count as an achievement? Every day you make a big deal out of staying behind. What is the purpose of your media? At this moment, the man Shan also stood up. If it's not enough, I can also apply to be a medical volunteer at the 7th Defense Line. Now I am actively applying to go to the 7th direction. May I ask if you can keep quiet about this? My son hasn't gone to the front lines, but slaughtering exotic beasts is equally dangerous. The front line receives the most supplies from our Yi city. Can you tell us about it? But before she could finish speaking, she was interrupted by Nan Fu, who looked angry. Enough. Don't pressure him anymore. When the veterans registered, they originally arranged for me to go to the 6th direction. No matter what he chooses to do, I support his decisions. At this moment, Fang Lin suddenly looked at Lan Ziying. She asked, Mr. Lan Ziying, I heard that many of your classmates sacrificed themselves on the battlefield. My spouse is a volunteer at the factory. My daughter is a paramedic with special abilities. Although my son hasn't gone to the battlefield, he is working his hardest at the slaughterhouse to support the front lines. In my heart, he is a good kid. The man gestured for them to wait at the table. He would join after answering a few questions. Then he gestured to Fang Lin, the reporter. You saw that too. Our family can't gather even once every few months. As soon as she said this, the man and woman immediately fell silent. But just at that moment, the man's mother entered with the children. They coincidentally witnessed the awkward scene. I cannot shirk my responsibility. But then, Fangling brought up the man. As for your son refusing to enlist, what do you think of that? The reporter's name is Fang Ling. Hello, Mr. Nan Xiongshun. I heard you signed up immediately after receiving the recall notice for veterans. May I ask what you were thinking at the time? Hearing this, Nan's father solemnly replied, It's my duty. And he gestured for the reporter to keep a piece of jewelry. It turns out the male veteran is a retired soldier. The reporter's intention was just to conduct a brief interview. At that moment, Mr. Nan had also finished his work. He gestured for her to feel free to ask any questions. He received a message from his dad. Hey kid, come home for dinner tonight if you're free. Your mom misses you so much. It turned out his father was actually a culinary genius, and was personally preparing meals for his son and daughter who were coming home. The men's camp couldn't help but feel shocked. The Eastern Alliance has also activated the veteran recall plan. This situation not only escalated rapidly, But even the recall of veterans was moved up significantly. Just then, even if it means sealing the demon, they would rather not be a coward. The men's camp, unaware that the mysterious person ranked 10th is actually him. At this moment, the men's camp has also returned to the slaughterhouse, seeing the 8th defensive line of the US and Mao country continuously defeated, with destructive power immediately placing them in the top 10 of the Eastern Alliance's ability rankings. Various comments have filled the entire comment section. In the past, we only heard of Ashura ability users from the West, but now the East also has some of its own. They insist on comparing the mysterious person with the men's camp. Let's just release the rankings as soon as possible. As expected, the Ashura ability from the men's camp has temporarily been ranked 10th. When this ranking was released, the whole country was in an uproar. A mysterious figure in black appeared in the Yi City Hunter Gorge. You know, they've been probing the top 10 espers of the Eastern Alliance for so long. They had reserved spots for some mysterious families before but failed. But as soon as Shura appeared, they were already stable. Being in the top 10 is already a terrifying individual power. Don't overthink it. Unfortunately, Zhao Qie can only use her time reversal ability once every 24 hours. And it lasts only 3 seconds. Even so, Su Leng is also very certain that the two different forces before and after should belong to the same person. Zhao Qie said, "That's impossible, right?" At this point, the man's beast taming skill has reached level 8. He possesses a full 2 million in 5/7, even with an army. Meanwhile, Su Leng and another person from the Abilities Survey Bureau are still discussing everything that happened last night. Su Leng clearly sensed two different powerful energies. Hunt through the canyon. Obtain the original stones. Remember, do not harm anyone. Do not attack cities. And remain vigilant at all times. Well done, you instigator. Having said that, he immediately returned to his normal state, and the Yuan King immediately knelt down before the man. At this moment, the man slowly said, "All 100,000 Bai Yuan, listen up. From now on, continue to be led by King Bai Yuan and garrison here." Yuan Wang's eyes suddenly lit up. He slowly reached out towards the stage. The man thought, is this guy going to fight again? But just as his fist reached the man's head, it suddenly stopped. Seeing this, the man also placed his fist on top. "You've still got some spirit in you, huh? It'd be a shame to die like this. How about becoming my comrade instead? And together we can fight against the myriad races." Upon hearing this, at this moment, he had already made the King of Hell bleed from the corner of his mouth. Gasping heavily, "If you're not convinced, get up and fight again. But I can't guarantee that he'll hold back next time." Yuan Wang struggles to get back up. The scene before him directly stunned him, because what he saw was not human at all, but a Shura demon from hell. Looking over at the man Silver now, "I ask you, are you convinced? Heaven and earth are boundless. All things arise from one. Officially summon Du Shiguang to initiate the trace. Open the heavenly eye, tracing back the powerful beings with abilities." But suddenly, a red cloud appeared in the sky. Seeing this, Su Leng immediately signaled her to be quiet. "The target is the Shaijuan Gorge southwest of Yi City. Quick, prepare to trace back the literary language." Luo Li and Zhao Qie immediately activated the tracing anomaly. Even if you're underdeveloped, you can't pretend to be a kid. But that purple-haired lowly does look innocent. Looking at those lumps of fat on your chest. It's polite enough I didn't call you auntie, okay? He would never wait for that kind of intense killing intent. The higher-ups also want us to keep an eye on Night City for a few more days. Just bear with it, Besides, we're the same age. Who are you calling big sis? How accurate is your intuition? It's already 3 am again. There are a few more signs. Drinking like this for so long isn't great. But Su Rong said. The arena was instantly flooded with terrifying energy waves. The sword rang out with a buzzing sound. Red energy swirled continuously around his body. At the same time, the Ability Investigation Bureau. I said, "Big sister." Not succeeding, he followed up with another powerful punch. The man from the camp was slammed hard to the ground by the King Yuan when he let his guard down. The man from the camp realized he had to get serious. Otherwise, he'd continue to be treated like a pushover. So he immediately switched to Asura mode. It even opened its mouth, attempting to swallow the entire group of men. But the group of men was not to be underestimated. Immediately, one of them struck down with a blade. Instantly, the king winced in pain, gritting his teeth. Next, he attempted to crush the man's sword head. If it went for the power of the Asura, I'm afraid this pressure would instantly kill me. It seems this Yuan king is at least level 9. It may even be higher, and its attack speed is surprisingly fast. Then, using the heads of other leopards, it lightly floated in place. In the blink of an eye, it jumped out into a canyon. Looks like it's time for a new leader around here. But then the man raised his head and saw, "What the hell, that head is too exaggerated. I must take care of the boss behind the scenes first." So I sliced open the body of a leopard ape. But more leopard apes charged at me. Unfortunately, in my eyes, these leopard apes are just not smart enough. I quickly cleaned up a few of the leopard apes. The leopard women who had just been scared by him bared their teeth and charged once more. At that moment, the man realized. It seems that the reason for the failure of domestication is this howling sound. But it would be a shame to kill so many level 7 mutated leopard women. That would be such a waste. With that, he immediately entered the Shura Berserker state. Suddenly, the leopard ape's body smashed down, sending stones flying everywhere. Dust and smoke rose. At the same time, the man activated his level 8 beast tamer skills to the max. But with that roar echoing again, accompanied by a loud roar. Before the man could react, the ape he had tamed earlier attacked him from behind. He thought to himself, "Looks like the taming failed. In that case, let's subdue them first and then train." But for the man Eagle has become, it's just a walk in the park. He casually moved his hands. Then with a warm breath he threw a punch at the ape's head. Luckily, it was still within a tarmable range. But soon, more ape-like creatures swarmed in, still short of 1 million primogems. Next, he tamed another batch of level 7 mutated brutes. As expected of a level 7 mutant beast, its presence is on a whole different level compared to the previous wolf pack and bulls. Incredible speed and overwhelming aura. It must not harm anyone, nor attack the city, always awaiting orders. In no time, he tamed a total of 500,000 gang bulls. Then he arrived at Hunter's Canyon. With a loud shout, blood spewed from his mouth. The steel ox was instantly tamed on the spot. It was ordered by the man to guard the area, at the same time helping him collect raw stones. Soon, we had 500,000 level 5 steel iron wolves stationed next to the northern wasteland. Next, he reached the Whitebone Plains, the habitat of level 6 steel oxen. With a wave of his hand, a burst of red energy shot out from his hand. In an instant, the energy enveloped all the steel oxen. He would soon be able to lay out 1,000,000 longevity herbs. The rise and fall of a nation. Every man has his duty. Today, we, the men of Yunyao, stand guard at the northern wasteland. Together, we defend Nangsing. It turns out the man wanted to turn this place into the largest slaughterhouse in Yi City. To accept mutated poultry in quantities 10 or even 100 times greater than other slaughterhouses. With a steady supply of mutated poultry, the man's speed in obtaining raw stones would be effortless. Moreover, with the prey captured by the steel giant wolf, I turned back and said playfully, "If you really want to thank me, perhaps you could do it in another way." "That's not out of the question." Wenyan Zhang Yuan's pretty face suddenly turned bright red. For example, the man's next answer made him very embarrassed. But the man, Yin, was quite dismissive. "Just have one drink, and that's it. In times of national crisis, I don't have the luxury for that." But then, I suddenly stopped in my tracks. I believe his assets will be successfully frozen soon. The man, Yin, simply replied, "That's good." Zhang Yuan stated that no matter what, he still needed to thank him. He proposed, "How about I buy you a drink tonight?" But the man signaled for him to be quieter. As the saying goes, the secrets of heaven cannot be revealed. This left Zhang Yuan stunned. He helplessly shrugged and said, "Back to the point. I have already submitted the evidence of Lin Yukei embezzlement." Hearing this, the man took a bite of the meat bun. "What can I say? I did mention to him that I wanted a few mutated wolves." Zhang Yuan stood with his hands on his hips. He questioned, "Do you have the ability to control beasts?" The wolf pack, like a well-disciplined army, howled at the moon in unison. Then he returned to the Yeching slaughterhouse. Zhang Yuan also received news that Lin Yukei forces were wiped out in the northern wasteland. So he asked, "Was this your doing?" "Don't worry about those in the back. Each of you will get a turn. Next, you'll be assigned a new task. Help me retrieve something in the northern wasteland." Just as the words were spoken, these little wolves kept acting cute in front of the men's camp, and kept licking the faces of the men's camp members. The men signaled them to sit quietly, saying they did quite well this time, and specially rewarded them with head pats. The woman is a level 5 aura perception ability user. Su Rong, it seems the sensation from a few days ago wasn't an illusion. It's highly likely that there's a high-level ability user in Yecheng. This incident must be reported to the higher-level investigation bureau immediately. Meanwhile, over at the men's camp, but the man couldn't be bothered to explain either. After a series of screams and the sound of tearing flesh, Lin Yukei was completely torn to pieces by the wolf pack. Farewell, Lin Yukei. Meanwhile, in the Ability Detection and Investigation Bureau, a powerful ability attack has occurred again in Yecheng. It wasn't till then that Lin Yukei still tried to beg for mercy, but the man merely said sorry indifferently. Lin Yukei would never understand, even in death, why a deserter like you was so determined to kill him. No, that's absolutely impossible. Yet, just as they finished speaking, what greeted the bodyguards was a merciless punch. Blood gushed from the bodyguard's head instantly. He was as dead as could be. In an instant, all powers related to psychic energy were cut off. The bodyguards immediately realized that no matter what, they couldn't activate the teleportation array. "Are you a high-level psychic?" But then they thought. Yin instantly activated his Shura Dragon Slayer attack mode. He gathered the essence of Shura and turned killing intent into power, defending against all low-level spiritual and spatial manipulations. A terrifying wave surged out of Yin's body. With that, he grabbed Lin Yukei by the throat. Seeing this, Lin Yukei could only turn his gaze to the bodyguard nearby. The bodyguard signaled, "Sir, don't be afraid. He'll transport you to a safe place right away, to avoid any further complications." But even facing death, Lin Yukei still spoke defiantly. "If you dare to touch me, I guarantee that you and your family will die horribly." The man replied calmly, "I believe you could do that, but unfortunately, you won't get the chance." It turned out to be Nan Ziying. Lin Yukei asked in confusion, "You're the animal trainer from earlier. Are you here to kill me?" Nan Ziying replied, "That's right. I want to kill you." At this point, we were close to the nearest teleportation point, the ancient city wall. But in the next second, a dark figure appeared behind Lin Yukei. Seeing this, the bodyguard immediately asked, "Who are you?" He removed the mask, and upon seeing it, "Today, I'll let you taste my power." I quickly repelled the first wave of the wolf pack's attack, but soon, another wave came crashing down. The bodyguard realized that this couldn't go on. After all, the number of inner demons is limited. A steel wolf pounced over. At the same time, the bodyguard protected Lin Yukei firmly. Seeing the wolf pack already pouncing on the bodyguard's head, after all, the bodyguard is also a level 5 supernatural being. "You bunch of beasts." Immediately, many soldiers were killed on the spot. The wolf pack quickly shattered the car windows. Seeing this, the bodyguard immediately shouted to the officer, It's dangerous, while Lin Yukai still fantasized about being transported to a safe place. But the next second, tear them apart. Leave no one from this convoy. In the blink of an eye, the wolf pack surrounded the convoy. Seeing this, Lin Yukai immediately ordered to suppress them with firepower. Unfortunately, the number of wolves was truly overwhelming. Maybe it was some hidden master. If he got to know him, he might be able to use him. But just then, the man suddenly issued commands to the wolf pack. He slammed his hands down onto the ground. Lin Yukai also noticed this scene. He thought there might be an animal tamer ahead. He even thought it was a savior. He was so excited that he burst into laughter through his tears. But he had never heard of such a skilled animal tamer in ENGSUB. Just now, right at that moment, a red contrast appeared beneath the feet of the man. As he shouted loudly, blood-red energy extended from the ground forward, and the wolves instantly stopped attacking the military vehicle. Helpless, he could only enter his strongest combat state, hellish state of the Shura realm. But at the same time, it has attracted the attention of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Target T City, southwest of the Huntuan Grand Canyon. Quickly prepare to trace. Therefore, he could only choose to subdue them first, before attempting to tame them. But the first thing to do is to conquer the one behind the scenes. However, the size of the leopard is truly exaggerated. Moreover, its strength is at least level 9, if not higher. With just an ordinary punch, it knocked the man directly to the ground. The pack of wolves kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Lin Yukai, it's time to deal with you, this pest, to quickly arrange for millions to resist the 10,000 tribes. He risked his life to enter the habitat of the level 7 mutated beasts in the Hunter's Canyon. Unexpectedly, it ended in failure right from the start. Then stop fucking around. Hurry up and move forward. But what they don't know is, these steel wolf beasts are targeting the men's camp. It truly is a wonderful night. He immediately ordered his men to initiate the teleport them to a safe location. But the driver said they were too far from the teleport point. Now we can only floor it and drive forward. If we ram through the wolves ahead, there might be a chance of survival. Hearing this, the driver looked outside the car. The moment he saw the situation outside, he instantly froze. Sweating like this is bad. Sir, we are surrounded by the steel wolves. At this moment, Lin Yukai was terrified. At that moment, the driver reported that there were about 1,000 mutated wolves ahead. Lin Yukai immediately ordered the driver to charge straight through. They would be directly transported into the nano forest. If they got home early, they could do other things. After some time, Lin Yukai noticed something unusual outside. The beast tamer level also reached level 7. However, the upgrade requirement skyrocketed to an astronomical number. Meanwhile, 10 kilometers outside the city, 3 military vehicles were driving into the heart of the wilderness, and sitting in the car was none other than Lin Yukai, who was out hunting wolves. The various races would soon launch corresponding assassination operations. Next, he must act discreetly. He then ordered the wolf cubs to lure all the nearby wolf packs. As he looked around, the entire wilderness was filled with red wolf eyes. But he was thinking that if you dare to play tricks, I can take you out in no time. Meanwhile, the man Silver was also planning how to eliminate Lin Yukai. If Silver remembered correctly, with the awakening of advanced human ability users. The factory director really took his time with that. Such boldness, so refined. I, Lin, like that. Then, I'll trouble you, Commander Lin. Lin Yukai assured, don't worry. This made the bodyguard break out in a cold sweat. Lin Yukai said, feel free to speak directly. The man smiled slightly and said, I want you to get me a batch of steel wolves tonight. As soon as he said that, Lin Yukai immediately let out a sigh of relief. At this moment, Lin Yukai came over with a satisfied look. Director Lan's efficiency has improved again. Go ahead if there's anything you need from Lin, just say it. The man's voice stretched as he spoke. 3 words came out. I want. They even lowered the draft age to 16. The situation is clearly unfavorable for humanity. If this keeps going on, no matter how strong the Ashura talent is, it's still just the power of one person. We need to make plans as soon as possible. His body has returned to its original state. With so many crystals, I can upgrade my beast taming skills again. Currently, the 8th defense line has only the Eastern Allied nations, the US, and Mao. They are still struggling to hold on. A large number of demon beasts were instantly sliced into connected corpses. The ground was left with a pit, hundreds of meters deep. So this is the power of a full-level Ashura. Compared to the previous level, the strength has grown exponentially. With the life of the man in the camp, the Shura was too intense. In that case, then let me start with you. With that, he slowly raised the long blade in his hand. Immediately, red and black energy surged wildly along the blade. Then he swung it down. A surge of world-destroying red and white energy shot straight into the sky. The max-level Asura's hellish form also changed. A red aura burst from his body, reaching the heavens. The surrounding red-black aura surged madly into him. Meanwhile, the level 5 mutant beast bared its teeth, eager to fight. In merely half an hour, 800,000 warriors were wiped out. At this moment, the male camp Shura skills had reached the maximum level. He could only be heard roaring in anger. Killer aura unleashed. The Ashura returns. Alloy report. The Shura massacre city was breached on March 22 by the Glacier defense line. 600,000 frontline soldiers perished. Alloy Dragonblade. The Shura Dragon Slayers encountered the slaughtering race at South Glacier on March 24. In just 1 hour, 500,000 soldiers were killed. Alloy Demon Blade. The Shura murderers fully lost the Kawasaki defense line on March 26. Before long, his Shura level reached level 6. With the continuous recovery of the long knife in his hand, the Shura level kept rising crazily. Meanwhile, on the front line, on March 20, the war frenzy in the Eagle Nation struggled for 4 hours, resulting in 800,000 casualties and 50,000 supernatural beings experiencing the collapse of the front line. And the man's Shura level was also continuously increasing. Skill activated. In an instant, a terrifying aura erupted from his body. As the evil aura of the Alloy Evil Blade grew increasingly intense, the hordes of mutated beasts instantly became his Shura killing intent. Alright, see you later. At that moment, the man suddenly smiled slightly. Lin Yukai, all the stuff you've hoarded here is exactly what I need to upgrade my Shura talent. Then he took out the Alloy Evil knife from his body. This batch of beasts should be sent to the first floor of the trial tower. This batch of level 5 mutant beasts should be sent to the second floor. Make sure not to mix them up. Lin Yukai, standing nearby, couldn't help but praise how reassuring Yi Cheng's work atmosphere was. I won't disturb you for now, Director Lan. If you do well next, I, Lin, will never treat anyone unfairly. Wenyan Man silently said nothing. Then, he systematically assigned tasks to everyone. Everyone is responsible for their respective duties. Plus, the frontline soldiers are independent. Orders have increased by tens of thousands compared to before. This is truly a God-given opportunity to make money. Then he patted the young man's silver shoulder. If you need anything, just speak up. Lin Yukai couldn't help but laugh. The man in charge really is decisive. This man is not only more capable than Bai Pang Pang, but also more competent. He's just a free laborer who doesn't take kickbacks. And lately, don't provoke those tough guys, they're quite honest. Moreover, the level has increased from level 4 to level 5. Aunt Zhang is very dissatisfied with this, but the man reassured everyone not to worry. This task is completely manageable. Hearing the positive response, watching the man walk away, I couldn't help but ponder, what an unpredictable guy. I'll trust him for now. 3 days later, a large number of mutated beasts were sent over. Even if I die, I am still on the side of humanity. And I will thoroughly drive out all other races. It's just that currently my strength isn't strong enough. I've said about everything that needs to be said. I'm leaving, beautiful. Even with your current strength, you are considered a powerful figure. Are you really going to hide yourself behind the human race? But growing stronger like that wouldn't be detrimental to humanity, right? You don't need to worry about that. I need you all to be excited, to provide more magical beasts. Hearing this, Zhang Yuan was even more confused. How many mutated beasts do you really need? Zhang Yuan can't say anything more. Since that's the case, then I reluctantly agree. At this moment, the man made a request. After dealing with Lin Yukai, I believe you are a smart person. Everyone has some secrets, right? As for Lin Yukai, that parasite, don't worry, just leave it to me. Now that we've come this far, thinking about it this way, everything starts to make sense. The man sighed. I've said everything that needs to be said. Don't ask about what shouldn't be said. I'd rather be ridiculed than deal with the corpses in the rear, hunting those beasts all day long. The reason for such a choice, could it be that he's strengthening his resolve by killing beasts? How about we exchange a few more moves? Zhang Yuan could clearly sense the terrifying energy wave coming from him, and in just that short moment, the aura this man released was more than twice as powerful as before. He then recalled everything he knew about this man Ying. Even I can't take him down, and you're just a deserter who doesn't dare step onto the battlefield. To dispel Zhang Yuan's doubts about him, Lan Ziying had no choice but to release his Asura aura again. Previously, you and I already sparred. Leave Lin Yukai to me. Wen Yan looked at the man with suspicion. Did I hear that right? You mean you're going to handle Lin Yukai alone? Save it. After this analysis by the man, Zhang Yuan finally understood the gravity of the situation. If what you say is true, then what should we do? There's nothing difficult about it. It will undoubtedly be interpreted as internal strife by outsiders. Once unnecessary chain reactions are triggered, it will ultimately lead to chaos among the troops in the rear. Everyone will only be concerned about their own safety and enjoyment. How can the soldiers on the front lines have the mind to fight against the monsters? Internal handling. First, the time for gathering evidence is uncertain. As for the current situation of the battle, humanity is at a disadvantage. If news of corruption in rear supply lines comes out, then they have many people. Are you planning to kill them all? Let's not even talk about whether you have the ability, but you haven't thought carefully about what position you are in. Zhang Yuan, can you bear the consequences of failure? He didn't understand what the man was trying to say. So the man slowly explained, if you want to get rid of Lin Yukai, you have two choices. That is, assassination or internal reporting. If you choose assassination, Lin Yukai fate was already sealed. It's neither now to act, nor to join forces with you, because you're completely unaware of the consequences of eliminating him. Zhang Yuan thought for a long time. Just now, the sword was rejected. Zhang Yuan's expression suddenly turned cold. So you're saying you want to side with the wicked? But the man immediately denied it. How could I have chosen you? This garbage. Little did I know that the reason I chose to do this was simply to quickly kill the beast, to enhance my own talent system. At that point, with my own strength, I could silence countless clowns. Yet, I remain in the rear. I choose to be a foot soldier. Everyone is mocking me as a coward. Even my ex-girlfriend wants to kill me. I was blind at the time, Zhang Yuan said, slowly extends his right hand towards the man. Nice to meet you. At this moment, the man slightly opens his mouth. I refuse the clan's invasion of the Dragon Kingdom, recruiting 100 million overnight. So, the young lady suggested to him, since that's the case, why don't we work together to get rid of Lin Yukai? Him from the 8th Defense Line, Logistics Unit, Intelligence Team. He's still our direct superior for now. The young lady was shocked on the spot. I didn't expect that Lin Yukai dirty deeds were already well known in the men's camp. Since it's not, then why are you helping him? Lan Ziying explained, I'm not helping him. This is just a task he assigned to our Yi City branch. even if he's the parasite or scum you say he is. She aimed it at the man and pulled the trigger. However, the man's Asura talent directly devoured the bullet. Who told you I'm Lin Yuka's accomplice? I think you have the wrong person, the young lady questioned as she stepped back. In the moment, Miss was distracted by speaking. The man suddenly unleashed his Asura power. He knocked the weapon out of the young lady's hand with one swift move. But the young lady's skills are not to be underestimated. Suddenly, she managed to get another weapon from who knows where. But the man remained calm despite winning. You should ask Lin Yukai about that. Miss Wenyan looked confused. Aren't you guys on the same side? Also, please, answer my questions seriously. The mysterious girl slowly spoke. I ask one question. You answer one. How many mutated beasts were in the next batch from Lin UK deal? Did they deliver, or did you receive? But after searching for a long time, I still couldn't find the mysterious person. But at this moment, a black gun barrel was aimed at the back of his head. He turned around, and it turned out to be a stunning young lady. But just then, a dark shadow flashed past the door. This speed of movement could not possibly be one of the workers inside. So I opened my legs and chased outside. That's right, it should be in this direction. I already thought of a way. After saying that, he slowly got off the bed. I know everyone is worried about my health, but believe me, the mission can definitely be accomplished. With the identity of the station master, plans to drain Lin Yukai have more room for operation. Xiao Liu immediately wanted to appeal to the higher-ups, but was stopped by the man, that they would have to rely on themselves for this task. The beast taming talent and the Asura talent are both at level 7 and level 6, respectively. If utilized properly, the efficiency could at least double. Everyone else can just do their own part, and the workers have been cut in half. Even if everyone doesn't eat or drink, how many living people will still be standing a month from now? Squad leader, how do you think we should handle this task? The men's team realized. Don't try to shirk responsibility. This is everyone's recognition of you. From now on, we have to call you the male station master. Let's all work hard together. But because this time the assigned tasks have doubled, Xiao Liu, you come over and tell him, Mr. Nan, we have unanimously elected you to be the commander of the battlefield at the Yi City division of the Tower of Lost Love. Here is the appointment letter issued by the higher-ups. The man from the camp was dumbfounded upon hearing this. Aunt Zhang is still a little boy. This defeat would come so much earlier than in the last life. As for the death of Officer Bai Pangpang, the higher-ups have already determined that it was due to mental interference by the demon. It has nothing to do with us in Yi City. Next, there's something more important to tell you. Hearing this, the man from the camp looked at Aunt Zhang with confusion. The highly anticipated level 7 Esper, the son of thunder, has already lost half an arm. Now he is left with only half a life. The level 6 Esper, the flame giant, sacrificed himself for the country. He died a heroic death. Even the men's battalion did not expect. Meanwhile, the military supply tasks on the front line have doubled. The 9th defense line has completely collapsed. The battle situation is extremely tragic, whether it's the army or the air force. Our troops are no match for the mutated beasts of all races. Is fine now. Everyone hurry up and get back to work. Could it be that Lin Yukai sent over advanced mutated beasts again? Aunt Zhang said that half of the people in the branch station have been reassigned to help other factories. Current Asura level 6. As soon as he opened his eyes, he fought. The next day, Comrade Xiao Nan, you finally woke up. We owe it to you this time. This guy won't be of use anymore. We should head back and report. Before leaving, he didn't forget to remind others to keep working. But just at that moment, the man Yin suddenly showed a strange smile. Therefore, he has to be executed on the spot. At this moment, the bodyguard arrived next to the man. It seems this guy has also been disturbed. That fat fool has gotten himself killed. He has also ruined this guy. With that, the bodyguard threw a punch straight at his head. Everyone around was speechless. What is this guy doing? but the bodyguard insisted he was under the witch's psychic influence. It may cause harm to everyone. Is being a leader really that stressful? Just a few random insults, and he couldn't handle it. Meanwhile, the bodyguard thought he was affected by lingering psychic energy. He must be crazy. If he keeps running his mouth, he'll ruin the boss plans. Lin Yukai, you old geezer. I could handle all this on my own. Not only do you not believe me, but you also have people spying on me. The two ladies also look completely confused. In reality, Fatty spat out a mouthful of blood. Everyone around was suddenly at a loss. It was clear that he had lost his mind. These are all mine. None of you will get a share. Then, I'll let you have a good look. As soon as he spoke, an overwhelming amount of malevolent energy rushed into Fatty's mind. This level of malevolent energy was far beyond what he could handle. He cried out, "Please, I'm begging you. Spare me. Tell me, who exactly are you?" But in the next moment, his plump legs were bound by a chilling force. Who I am is not important. Didn't you want to peek into my spiritual world? What level of spiritual lizard ability do you have? I clearly checked just now. In such a short time, how could one possibly grow so quickly? At this moment, the chubby one's eyes were filled with terror. Why is it that what I see is just a pitch-black void? In the next moment, the chubby white one seemed to realize something was off. He then turned to look behind him. How is this possible? What appeared before his eyes was a spiritual entity formed from sinister energy. At this moment, the chubby one also looked confused. He had clearly infiltrated his mental system, but for some reason, it had this effect. Infiltrate the mental system. You should be able to see each other's spiritual entities. That said, I was hit by a psychic attack. He headed straight for the man, but the man also noticed the intentions of the chubby one. Unfortunately, you picked the wrong person today. This is a good opportunity to test the ability of my level 5 talent. We have to wait for the boss to arrive first. Besides, there's too much lingering psychic energy from the demon here. If you act rashly, you'll be interfered with. But when White Fatty died, there was no time to care about that. I'll personally explain it to the boss when the time comes. I must give this kid another try. But just as I was about to make a move, I was stopped by the bodyguard beside me. Don't break the boss rules. You know how ruthless he can be. My perception of mental power has also strengthened. It turns out this chubby guy is actually a psychic ability user. Hearing the insults, the chubby guy was already furious out of shame. These insignificant people dare to insult me. Otherwise, some people might really look down on us in ENGSUB. Clearly they couldn't handle it, and then thought of us. And yet they acted all high and mighty. Next, some people probably won't be too happy. The Shura technique has leveled up. Next, he must head deeper into the wilderness to tame a more advanced creature, to speed up the deployment. At this moment, Aunt Zhang changed her usual attitude, and gave the man a thumbs up. Comrade Xiao Nan has really made us proud this time. How did he manage to do it? At this moment, the man Yin's talent level had already risen to level 5. Over the past few days, his body and mind have both strengthened, though he hadn't broken through to level 6. Fortunately, he had acquired the first skill of the Ashura talent. Keep an eye on that kid for me. I'll be there soon. Bai Pang Pang also looked utterly incredulous at this. This kid really completed the task ahead of time. He clearly investigated at the time, and that kid didn't have any psychic abilities. All of it was handled by the unit led by that guy, Nan Xing. As soon as those words were spoken, Lin Yukai was instantly overjoyed. He directly pulled the young lady into his arms. This is truly wonderful, but his subordinates claim they completed the mission in just about 4 days. Win Yanlin was instantly shocked. You're saying they're about to finish? Yes, sir. The mission to kill 5,000 level 4 alien beasts has been fully confirmed. Regarding the distribution in Night City, their tasks are all activated. Win Yanlin's face immediately darkened. I really can't count on this group of useless people. The leader, that man, has already been executed. He finished the red wine in his hand in one gulp. Just as he was considering where to find a stable way to handle the high-level mutated beasts, the phone beside him suddenly rang. "Report, Commander. The military order has been established. We need to take this chance to make a big profit. Otherwise, all my hard work will go to waste. My capable subordinates have big appetites, and I also have to watch out for those military guys' secret investigations. This is really troublesome." Meanwhile, Lin Yukai was enjoying the company of beautiful women and red wine. Supplies are becoming increasingly scarce now. It's not just the Shinsha, but also the front lines of other countries that aren't looking optimistic. You all obediently become my power. As the malevolent energies surged madly, the man's eyes turned bloodshot. Countless streams of energy drilled into his eyes, and he couldn't help but let out a furious roar, instantly enveloping the man in silver. As long as the Ashura technique is activated, and the Ashura state is entered, the physical and mental strength can be multiplied, and these malevolent energies are the crystallization that can most quickly enhance talent. After saying that, he pulled the killing intent out of his mind. "I will naturally avenge the grudge I have with all races. As for humanity's future fate, only we humans can decide." At this moment, the innate technique slowly grows within the body. The myriad clans are so powerful. How will you take revenge on them? But the man named Yin grabbed the killing intent beside him. "Are you done talking? If so, be quiet for a while. Enduring it, learn to live more easily. Imagine the price you've paid. Imagine the loved ones who have died by your side. Father, mother, do you think all this is worth it?" It directly wrapped around the man's feet. The man whispered, "Now that's more like it." As the evil aura grew stronger, a thought suddenly entered the man's mind. "I'm so tired. Just let everything go. It's time to show your true skills. Otherwise, there will be no chance." Suddenly, a rumbling echoed in my mind. I turned around, only to see countless streams of killing intent gathering at my feet. To him, you are nothing but illusions. As long as he can't control it with his mental strength, these illusions are immovable in his eyes, and upgrading the Ashura talent requires more killing intent. He can even conjure illusions. But for the men's camp, all of this is in vain. He immediately takes a leap in place. Save your energy. Meanwhile, this male camp truly deserves the title of a level 4 mutated beast. Even if the body is paralyzed, the mental strength is still sufficient. Not only that, it's purely a waste of time. That guy is dead. These things are still mine in the end. Do you know how to report this to the boss? Don't worry, I will report everything that happened here truthfully. I'm sure that if he managed to come out, he would definitely be insane. We can just wait here for his execution. By the way, Boss Lin is really stingy. It's a complete waste of time for Pavadofan to believe a deserter. Then they walked toward the trial area without hesitation. At this moment, the chubby one also felt confused. He had already tested this kid with his psychic ability. He is definitely not a psychic anomaly user. Even he can't coexist with those level 4 mutated beasts for long, but was stopped by the chubby one. Just a dying person. There's no need to fuss over him. Everyone casually put on their masks and prepared to start dealing with it, because handling these strange beasts requires releasing anesthetic smoke. I believe you'll enjoy the process. Nanzian casually took the military order. You're just a messenger. Why so much nonsense? Seeing this, the bodyguards were about to take action. Are you scared? Didn't Li Jun say yesterday that the warrior agreed to it pretty readily? But when that time comes, my duty will be to personally execute Nanzian. With that, he patted Nanzian on the shoulder. The Taoist does not need to report. Execute the shooting on the spot. While speaking, he made a gesture of shooting. Beng Wenian Xiao Liu looked incredulous. The chubby Bai looked disdainful. The officer in charge of military supplies, Lin Yukai, has the authority to deal with you. According to the rules, you are suspected of involvement in the Kangming Mountain Workers' riot. If there is any delay, Consolidated punishment. Soon, all 50,000 level 4 mutated beasts will be delivered. A chubby officer began reading the military order. The logistics battalion of Yecheng is tasked with completing 5,000 4th level mutant beasts within a week. If the task is not completed on time, according to regulations. But thanks to him, these monsters are the best material for upgrading his Asura talent. First, I'll kill all the monsters in that guy's hands. Then, after upgrading the talent, I'll pull out Lin Yukai and his gang completely. His mental interference is strong. He can serve as a supply. Moreover, he is a very precious material. That bastard Lin Yukai would do anything for money. I signaled them to relax. As long as you all do your jobs well, that's enough. Now, his beast-taming skill has risen to level 7. He is also quite strong among level 4 mutated beasts. He has high defense. Right after they left, Xiao Liu hurried over anxiously. Mr. Lan, mutated beasts are not that easy to deal with us. If needed, we can help you together. If you deal with them within a week, I'll let you off the hook. If it's not completed, it won't be just you. The entire Yi city will be punished as well. Might as well go with the flow. Let him take on this task. Young man, I hope you're telling the truth. Let's establish a military pledge first. Tomorrow, I'll send you 5,000 beasts. There's nothing I can do. Lin Yukai, standing by, felt puzzled. How could a deserter be so familiar with mutant beasts? He looked at the reactions of those around him. It seems he spoke without holding back. These special mutated beasts. I think no other region could handle this. So you came to Yecheng to try your luck, right? I'd really like to take on this task. But since you want to kill me, Lin Yukai was immediately stunned. So it turns out that all the beasts in the trial tower were killed by him alone. No wonder the resupply in Yecheng has progressed so quickly. Just as Lin Yukai was in a daze. The mutated beasts you brought have all developed killing intent. The level 5 ability user beside him was about to step forward and act. But the man, Yin, just smiled slightly. This is actually quite good, but no one can handle the tens of thousands of mutated beasts in the trial tower. As soon as these words were spoken, you coward, hiding here, not only that, but you even dared to strike and injure a soldier of higher rank. Even if you were executed on the spot, no one would dare say a word. The old, the sick, and the disabled. He didn't expect such a skilled fighter to appear halfway through. This would be difficult to end well. But then he noticed that the young man looked somewhat familiar. It turned out to be the deserter who refused to enlist. The nearby aunt and uncle echoed, "As the commander, is it right to point a gun at us? Haven't we already sacrificed enough for the battlefield of the myriad races?" As soon as these words were spoken, Lin Yukai was immediately filled with sorrow and bitterness. He originally thought Yecheng only had the weak. In this life, he will never allow such parasites to appear again. However, what needs to be done now is to squeeze out the resources he has first. So he quickly suppressed his anger. There are no traitors here plotting rebellion. These are not the irresponsible workers you mentioned. He was executed after being wanted worldwide for 12 years on the battlefield of the 10,000 races. In the previous life, this guy kept selling all kinds of supplies needed at the front line. He must have his eye on Yi City's speed in dealing with beasts. He wants to use Yi City to help him slaughter more high-level beasts and pocketing profits from reselling materials. Weren't all the young people sent to fight on the front lines? Then he raised his gun, committing insubordination. Is Yi City trying to rebel? At this moment, Yin realized. This man was none other than Lin Yukai, who rose to power through war in a previous life. The person in charge also turned to look at me. Isn't this the deserter from the men's camp? Doesn't seem as bad as the rumors say. Knocked out a level 5 superhuman with one punch. At this point, the officer's tone changed. Who are you? And the person who arrived was none other than the man rushing back at full speed. Officer, even if you're arguing, There's no need to take it out on the elderly, weak, sick and disabled. Seeing this, Aunt Lee was excited. Great, Xiaonan is back. The talking Esper was instantly sent flying backward. Seeing this scene, the officer beside him was completely baffled. What's going on here? Could there be a high-level Esper hidden in this small Yi city? Officer Wenyan smirked. What a shrew. Upon seeing this, 2 high-level Espers stepped forward to teach Aunt Zhang a lesson. How dare this shrew be disrespectful to an officer? Is she asking to die? But the next second, there was a sudden bang. They sacrificed their lives for the country. Does that count as being irresponsible too? We old folks work around the clock in shifts, day and night. Our goal is to keep up with the supply line to the front. How can you just dismiss everything we've done with a single sentence? Anyway, none of you people from Yi City are responsible. The first deserter who refused to enlist was also from Yi City. As soon as these words were spoken, Aunt Zhang instantly got angry. What right do you have to act superior here? My husband and 3 sons all died on the front lines. No one has come to welcome us after all this time. Just wait for the consequences. Little Liu couldn't help but retort. The level of this batch of high-level exotic beasts is already close to 4 mutated beasts. This is completely beyond the handling capacity of our Yi City. The officer said dismissively, Am I making things difficult for you? He couldn't bear that kind of blame. I will send more people as soon as possible. We will handle it with overtime. Who would have thought the commander would only escalate things? I think we should just let it go. There isn't a capable person in your Yi City. So many soldiers on the front line can't even get enough to eat. If we want to ensure the supply for the troops, we must start with these stronger mutant beasts. As soon as he said this, the person in charge almost stumbled under the weight of such a heavy accusation. But you're asking us to deal with some level 4 and above ones. We have absolutely no experience handling those. The officer got angry instantly. You can't even handle something this simple. Why even mention defending the country? Do you know how dire the situation on the battlefield is right now? A few days ago, you even exceeded the task quota. Now you're telling me you can't do it. Seeing this, the person in charge immediately stepped forward and explained, No sir, most of the people here are old, weak, sick or disabled. We can handle ordinary mutant beasts. His phone suddenly received news from the trial tower. It turned out that the trial factory wanted him to return for an emergency meeting. Could something have happened? It turns out a high-ranking officer had arrived at the trial ground, but unexpectedly, they came in with a harsh scolding. Your Yeching branch has been truly disappointing. After dismissing the entire wolf pack, it's time to start preparing to venture deeper. After all, the invasion of the myriad races is not something this pack of mutated wolves can resist. We must quickly tame more mutated beasts. Just as he was about to continue moving forward, this can be considered a successful first step. You all seem pretty obedient too. Let's disband here for today. I'll summon you when I need you. Remember, from now on, absolutely no attacking humans. This guy is unbelievably strong. At this moment, the man opened his attribute panel. If only I had maxed out my beast-taming talent in my past life, I wouldn't have died so easily at the hands of the Poison Master. Now, for the first time, he has tamed tens of thousands of mutated wolves during the Presale. What is going on? Why did the wolf pack suddenly retreat? Oh my, look. It looks like there's someone over there. He tamed tens of thousands of wolves all by himself. Just as it seemed they would be killed by the wolves today. The eyes of the mutant wolf pack suddenly softened. They even looked a little cute. While the 2 sisters were still in shock, the mutant wolves suddenly started retreating. She realized the car wouldn't start no matter what. The short-haired girl cried out, We're done for. The next second, the entire wolf pack surrounded them. Suddenly, there was a loud bang, and the car window shattered on the spot. The wolf pack nearby also lowered their proud heads. Seeing this, I immediately activated my innate skill. In an instant, I tamed all the mutant wolves. On the other side, The sisters in the car were preparing for a desperate fight, but just as the blonde girl was about to step on the gas and charge out, the moment it made contact with the Wolf King's skull, he immediately activated his taming skill. Instantly, an invisible energy enveloped the Wolf King's massive body. Then, the Wolf King's gaze began to become clear. Then, with my control ability, I was sent high into the air. Immediately after, I leaped into the air. In the blink of an eye, it struck the Wolf King's head. At this point, it was too late for him to dodge. Lan Ziying's fist heavily smashed down on the Wolf King's head. The wolf pack broke free from their restraints. One by one, they bared their teeth and surrounded him. To shoot a person, first shoot the horse. To catch a thief, first catch the king. I must deal with the Wolf King first. A massive tree formed of gathered energy shoots up from the ground. In the blink of an eye, it binds the mutated wolf pack. The Wolf King witnesses all of this. Then he howls at the sky. With the support of the Wolf King, at this moment, the Wolf King also noticed his presence. Slowly approaching the man, the silver figure draws near. I see the wolf pack around growing larger. Without hesitation, I activate my beast-taming skill, accompanied by a deafening roar. However, just then, a giant wolf, radiating a crimson aura, suddenly appeared. This should be the Wolf King. It seems that killing him is the only way to protect the medical team. So it's time to settle this quickly. The blonde girl has not chosen to give up. After all, the car holds life-saving medicine for the wounded. At this moment, the wolf pack is also standing together with the man Yin. At this moment, he is shooting arrows one after another. The kills are extremely satisfying. The situation on the medical team's side is also not optimistic. That burst of fire just now only temporarily slowed the wolves' attack in. But as the number of wolves keeps increasing, the girls inside the car have prepared for the worst. Even so, he had planned to find you. But unexpectedly you came to him. As the concentration of spiritual energy increased, it was clear that this pack of beasts had also become much smarter. At the same time, the sound of fighting quickly attracted the man's attention. It's the medical team from Yi City. Just as he was about to turn around to provide assistance, a large pack of wolves appeared behind him. This way, he could save quite a bit of energy. Don't worry about it, hurry and go. Behind us is a wave of steel. But at this moment, it's already too late to leave. At this point, the convoy is completely surrounded by the steel wolves. The short-haired girl picked up a machine gun and started shooting at the wolves. We should hurry and deliver the medicine back. Helpless, the blonde girl had no choice but to drive off, preparing to leave. But just at that moment, a piercing scream came from outside the car, and the deceased is the driver outside the car. It's dark and someone is rushing out of the city alone, so he shouted out of the car window, "There's a mutant giant wolf ahead. It's dangerous." That's right, this figure is the one heading to the men's wilderness camp. The short-haired girl beside him reminded him, the injured people in the city are still waiting for this batch of medicine. A dark figure appeared in the distance. Before everyone could react, the figure quickly swept past the convoy. The girl with yellow hair felt puzzled. Who is that? Therefore, they had to hurry with the repairs. At this time, a blonde girl suggested leaving the cars here for now. There are a lot of mutated wolves around. Then you can come back tomorrow. But just then, the day when the defense line completely collapses is approaching. He must speed up the upgrade of his talents. At that moment, several transport vehicles suddenly stopped in the wilderness. When they got out of the car, it turned out that the vehicles had broken down. At this moment, a woman suddenly pointed at the sky and shouted, "Cut it down." It turned out that 2 rockets were speeding towards the front lines. The man instantly thought, this is bad. It seems the situation at the front is far more complicated than he imagined, otherwise they wouldn't have called for fire support so early. These are all the wounded sent back from the front lines. At this moment, they are being sent to the hospital in a tense and orderly manner. The man was very confused. Why are there so many wounded so quickly? It seems the situation at the front is not looking good. It's what I should do. All right then, Mr. Nan. I won't disturb you any longer. Meanwhile, Yi Cheng drove several transport vehicles in. You've been performing well lately. You've really worked hard. Leave the rest to us. Hearing the girl's voice, he quickly turned back to thank you for your affirmation. We wouldn't have completed the task so quickly. I think that young man is pretty good. However, Yin didn't pay attention to the criticism from others, because he had more important things to do. At this moment, Xiao Liu blushed and approached from behind. Mr. Lan, see, I knew this kid wouldn't last a few days. But before she finished, the uncle next to her jumped in. You better shut up. If it went for him, I could work overtime every day if needed. But Nanzian said he would leave early today. Let's stop here for today. He finished speaking and headed toward the door. Aunt Zhang couldn't help but blurt out, none of us can guarantee to come out unscathed when facing these beasts. However, taming them is a key part of the plan to deal with the myriad of beasts. It's time to start my plan. At this moment, the manager asked if Mr. Nan wanted to continue the challenge. For the sake of the zombies at the front line, in just 3 days, I killed more than 10,000 mutated beasts. As expected, leveling up is faster in the trial field. But next, you'll have to go hunting in the wild. After all, the wild mutated beasts are not like these domesticated poultry, even if they're psychic users equipped with firearms. By this time, the trial ground was filled with monsters that I had slain. The few ladies can't keep up with the work. After the efforts of the past few days, my beast taming level has also risen to level 6. They were instantly overwhelmed by this aura and couldn't get up. Then I walked up to one of the trembling bulls. Why aren't you all so arrogant now? Now you'll all become my experience points. 3 days passed quickly. At this moment, he took out the original stone from the mutated cow. Since these are all second-level mutated beasts, isn't it better to tame them directly and then kill them? So he immediately activated his beast-taming talent, and a red light appeared in his hand. The bulls in the arena looked as if they'd been struck by lightning. Immediately, the bulls spat out a mouthful of old blood, instantly died on the spot. Poor vision. The other mutated cattle looked terrified. They never expected this human to be so fierce. Seeing more mutated bulls charging at him, he quickly leaped into the air. He picked up a swordsman and pierced the head of one of the mutated bulls. Then, he scraped the wound with the sword. Suddenly, there was a splatter. Brother Neo snorted at me through his nose, as if mocking me for daring to challenge him alone. Suddenly, my fiery temper kicked in. He really thinks him easy to bully. He never fights a battle he can't win. It directly knocked me flying. Although I used inertia to absorb the impact, the intense pain reminded me, this place might not be as simple as the first level. At that moment, why show off here? But the man wasn't in the mood to deal with their criticism, because he had to face a large mutated beast, far stronger than those on the first level. The pressure on the second level was indeed much greater than the first. Suddenly, a massive mutated bull charged toward him. Thank you for your concern, but there's no need to worry. I said that and walked toward the 2-story Heartbreak Tower. Aunt Zhang, watching this scene, was stunned. With skills like that, why not go to the front lines? Aunt Zhang gasped in surprise. With such serious injuries, you still have to face the 2 trials. What are you pretending for? Xiao Liu also suggested that he should take care of his health first. Both trials involve large mutated beasts. We've already finished our work on this floor, the man replied lightly. I'm not here to help you deal with the bodies. I'm here to continue the trial on the 2nd floor. As soon as those words were spoken, then he can find an excuse to lay around at home. As soon as he finished speaking, the man reappeared in front of them. Why are you back again? We don't need you here. Didn't you say he was a coward? Even the rank trials, hardly anyone used to pass them. Aunt Zhang scoffed at these words. He's just self-harming. It won't be long before they reach Leaf City. He doesn't have much time left to train. He must quickly max out his skill level. Meanwhile, the ladies were dealing with the beast's corpses. That kid really gave it his all. When the man got home, he immediately started showering. He looked at the attribute panel of the beast tamer's skill. He couldn't help but think, I need to level up to tier 3. Just staying on the first floor of the trial tower won't be enough. Now, the front lines have already been breached to the 8th layer by the myriad races. I'm going back right now to freshen up. With that, he turned and left without looking back. The 3 people who entered the trial grounds were shocked. Oh my god, so many monster corpses. He really passed the level 1 trial. Did you break up during the process? The man replied faintly, that's right, I passed. I took care of all the monsters on the first level. I'll have to trouble you all to handle the corpses of those creatures. It was all because of that weak, timid, and cowardly man they mentioned. At this moment, he was already covered in wounds. Even his clothes were in tatters. His face was smeared with either blood from the monster or his own. How could fishing end up like this? If we need to run, let's go over and hold him down right now. But just as she turned around, it seemed she bumped into something that brought her back to her senses. Aunt Zhang was stunned on the spot. I'll pin him down with a grappling move. However, Xiao Liu expressed that the immediate trial doesn't seem to be any simpler than the front lines. Just as a few of them were discussing this, the announcement came in that the immediate trial had ended. At that moment, Aunt Zhang had a mischievous smile. That guy must be struggling. Aunt Zhang signaled to Xiao Liu, don't worry about it. I want to see how long that boy surnamed Nan can keep up the act inside. Other kids have already gone to the front lines to fight the enemy, and this boy is still here trying to get by without doing anything. If he dares to run, then let's do it again. At this moment in the trial hall, the 2 ladies looked quite skeptical. At this moment, Xiao Liu suddenly stepped forward and asked, it's already lunchtime. Why haven't you left yet? It must strike at the heart of the matter. 1 hit, 1 kill. It's just like the usual hack on the Umbrella Bird Emperor. This guy's toughness is so much higher than in the last life. If that's the case, a gigantic umbrella bird, it was the leader of the umbrella birds, the Umbrella King. Dealing with it in this body is indeed quite difficult. Therefore, I can only use my wits. I cannot confront it head-on. Just as expected, the efficiency suddenly improved. But just at that moment, a loud bird call came from beside me. I turned around and saw, even though they were just low-level mutant beasts, they were still pretty tough to deal with when gathered together. Let's take care of the ones above first. After 10 minutes of intense fighting, I finally increased the number of tamed beasts to 5. But this current body is still too weak, so it can't fight for long. However, as long as the vital areas are avoided in each attacker, dealing with these mutant beasts in a short time shouldn't be a problem. So, without hesitation, I swung my manual longsword. I can say I have a thorough understanding of these basic scattered bird monsters. After killing a few scattered bird monsters, a shiny golden egg suddenly appeared. With this egg, you can add another tameable mutant beast. I must give my all in this life. So, let's start with the talent of a beast tamer. Ever since the invasion of the myriad races and monsters, the creatures on Earth have undergone mutations. Fortunately, I have the experience from my previous life as a foundation. Please, prepare yourself. Then he saw countless monsters crawling out of the cages beside him. In an instant, they charged at me from all directions. But at this moment, I am completely unperturbed, since heaven has given me a second chance at life. Listening to the discussion of the 2 people behind him, the man ignored them and walked into the trial room without looking back. As soon as he completed the difficulty selection for the trial, an alarm suddenly sounded, indicating that the trial had begun. This guy doesn't talk much, but he's quite handsome. Aunt Zhang beside her immediately stepped forward to remind her, don't get infatuated. No matter how handsome he is, he's still a coward. He's the one who didn't dare to go to the front lines. That man-child. You must be very careful with that. The man should express his gratitude for this. He glanced at the alloy knife that hadn't been used for a long time. Then, he walked alone towards the trial ground. The girl watched my departing figure. Aunt Lee also looked confused. They have all refused to go to the front lines. So why are they here for training? Maybe they want to compensate for the guilt of surviving in logistics. The girl will take out the alloy knife for dealing with mutated beasts. Just then, he seemed to think of something. So he hurriedly began searching his pocket for his phone. Isn't he the guy trending online who refused to join the execution team? Seeing this scene, that sounds great. I was worried about not finding anyone to help. Let me take you to change into some clothes first. But Aunt Zhang beside him was quite confused. Why would there still be young people coming to the trial grounds? If only I hadn't been injured. At this moment, a man suddenly stepped forward to ask, "I'm here to train at the trial grounds. I can help you deal with the mutated beasts as well." The girl immediately responded, "There are countless mutated beasts here. Through trials, one can continuously obtain primal stones to enhance their talents." At this moment, only some old, weak, sick and disabled people are left working in logistics. Everyone is preparing various supplies for the frontline warriors. A girl holding a crutch couldn't help but sigh. Lead humanity to defeat the invasion of all races. But now, even when he goes to battle, he can hardly kill a few demons. Moreover, it could waste my talents. It might even cost him his life. The best place to obtain primal stones is the trial grounds. Necromancy can awaken the undead underground to serve the host. Although cultivating these 5 talents requires a vast amount of resources and time, once these 5 talents are cultivated to the extreme, it can turn the tide. And the talent he gained through his life also appeared with him. Beast taming techniques can both harness the elements of beasts, and the Ashura technique of water and fire grows stronger with more kills. The stronger the berserk amplification of the body. Array techniques can set up various formations with limitless power. If only he had maxed out his talents sooner, then he would have had the power to protect all of humanity. Perhaps it was his unyielding obsession that moved the heavens. He was reborn. Amazingly, he returned to a time before joining the army. Even though one person managed to kill all the monsters on sight, in the end, the strongest of all races intervened. Even though I possessed supreme talents, in the end, I still lost. He was unwilling to accept it. As humanity suffered defeat after defeat, I dedicated my life to mastering 5 great talents, and ultimately embedded them within myself. But before he could fully cultivate all his talents, humanity was already defeated. For the sake of his beliefs, he charged to the front lines. Like them, he enlisted early to fight the enemy, and joined the battle command. He became an outstanding commander. Yes, they are all heroes. But this battle is bound to be like moths to a flame, a one-way journey with no return. Even with an army of millions, humanity still underestimated the power of the myriad demonic races in his past life, protecting my homeland. But Yin could only quietly stand behind the crowd. Then he let out a slow sigh. After refusing to enlist, he became a trending topic. Yet Yin made no rebuttal to this. He slowly walked away. In the blink of an eye, it was the next day. The enlisted troops began advancing to the front line under the cover of tanks and planes. They carried with them the belief in victory and fervent patriotism. Defending their homeland, it depends on personal will. He then sighed. What a pity you're such a good prospect. Let's leave it at that. Take your form and leave, amid everyone's curses. At this moment, the surrounding classmates started to jeer, but they were interrupted by a middle-aged man nearby. The one speaking was an old general who had lost his left arm. Young man, I respect your choice. Joining the army isn't mandatory. Instead, you choose to retreat in the face of battle. Are you worthy of the country's efforts to raise you? The boy's name was Nanxing. Sorry, sir. I have my own choice. The logistics team was full of elderly, sick and disabled women and children. At this moment, the officer also quickly spoke up. The multitude is slaughtering our people. You're healthy. You excel in your studies. Yet you don't serve the country. The officer was stunned. because he never would have thought that in this situation, someone would willingly choose to be a coward. His classmates angrily berated him as trash. Protect our sacred statue. The desire to enlist reached its peak, but just as everyone was eagerly signing up for the army, but the boy made a request to stay in logistics. As soon as he said that, the crowd suddenly shouted in unison to enlist. Enlist. We want to sign up for the army. We want to go to the front and fight the enemy, crush them, tear them apart. Now the battle against the countless demon clans is about to begin. As a border city, we in Yeqing have no way out. Now the Eastern Alliance is about to gather 1 million capable individuals to counterattack the demon clans. What should we, the younger generation of Yeqing, do to protect our home and defend our country? An officer was passionately giving a speech on stage. Behind me is the list of those who died in battle on the front lines last month. They are our friends. They are also our family and siblings. Moreover, they are the heroes of Yeqing and even of the entire Shensha. But as time went on, many powerful superhumans awakened among humanity. With their involvement, the pace of the invasion by the myriad races slowed. At this moment, in Leaf City, a frontier town of the Eastern Alliance, monsters from all races descended upon Earth. At first, we could still rely on firearms to fight against the monsters. But as more and more high-level monsters joined in, ordinary humans were completely powerless. Just in the Eastern Dragon Nation alone, military casualties have reached tens of millions. As long as I can level up these 5 abilities to their maximum, then I can definitely defeat the million-strong foreign invasion. But if I rush to the battlefield now, I will end up recklessly wasting my talent like in my past life. It turns out that in 2690, the beast taming skill that can tame exotic beasts, the elemental skill that condenses wind, fire, thunder and lightning, the Assure ability that grows stronger with more kills, and the Formation ability that can stack infinitely. Finally, the Necromancy ability that can summon an army of the undead. The commander looked at me in confusion and asked why I chose to back down. Faced with the questioning, I did not offer much explanation. Instead, I left the conscription site amid everyone's curses. Little did they know, I had already awakened 5 major talents. Invasion of the Langxin Dragon Kingdom. Recruiting 100 million overnight, just when everyone was eager to enlist and fight on the battlefield. I chose to stay behind in logistics as a common soldier. Everyone mocked me as a coward who fears for his life.